How's it going, everybody? I'm Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are back with some more Everlast. We are on session 43, and the party is in the thick of it. We are joined by 3 of our 4 players today, and yeah, we're going to really focus on what the 2 groups are currently focused on at the moment. But before we dive in too much further, I'm going to go ahead and have our players introduce themselves, starting with Max.
Can't hear you, Max, if you're talking.
I forgot to hit the mute button.
You're good.
We're thriving. My headphones are broken. That's obviously the problem. No, I just forgot the button. My name is Max. I play Zill. I was ready with his names this time. He is the orphan of Helix, the owner of Waffle House, the blacksmith extraordinaire, the future refinium prospector, and the teapot of madness.
Whoa. What? Where did we get the future refining prospector? Did you just invent that one? That's the first time I'm hearing of this.
I've said that like every time.
What?
I think
You missed the king of Crash.
I think it was a joke from when I went to seminary and we were gonna still keep playing, even though we ended up not playing. That Zill was just gonna take a break to the Refinium Peaks, and then rejoin the party at a later date.
Wait, were you in seminary and we were playing this?
We were playing this before he went to seminary.
Yeah.
No, well, I know, but like, you were part of the party at that point?
Yeah, we only played like 4 times.
Yeah, it was
because we took a break.
a lot of breaks.
Because I moved as well.
Oh, yeah.
Our first stream was like my last month. So it was like once, maybe twice, I think.
I see.
And now you're a married man.
And I'm a married man. Lot changes.
Tables.
So anyway, Zill is an orphan of Helix, as mentioned already, who has a heart for taking care of those weaker than him for a lot of reasons that we got a little bit of last week or last session. He is the party tank, so he can take hits like a champ, and he can dish them back surprisingly well. He's literally branded, so that's fun. He's branded basically by a god. I know
Is
it's
it
a little more
Kellogg's,
nuanced than that,
Kroger?
but and he loves blacksmithing and wants to become the world's best blacksmith.
That does seem to fit everything that we know of Zill thus far, meaning we're going to go ahead and jump over to our next player, Luxalia.
Hey, I'm Cole, and I play Luxalia of the Silverwood. And she has a really gruff, low voice like this. No, she doesn't.
She smokes 12 packs a day.
Yeah. She's like flurry.
Chain smoking in her off time.
If anyone watched my stream on Thursday, I don't remember, yesterday, but wow, what a time.
Yesterday,
Yeah, one of the partners is a woman, but I decided she had a low gruff voice like that. So
Yep.
Anyway. No, I play Luxalia of the Silverwood, a Glythen, a female, a healer of party members, a worshiper of Alamnia, a woman with a nefarious backstory and past that I need to get together with the Fate Weaver and make sure we're on the same page.
By the way, I saw your text. I got it at like 1:30 this morning. So.
Cool. Yeah. Because I saw Belvin's backstory come in, and I'm like, I just want to make sure the DM and I are on the same page. Also, Kyle, can you scooch me down a little bit? I'm like, my head is at the top of this arch. Thanks.
But we could see your t-shirt so nicely, though.
I know, but this is old school.
That is old school.
This is so 2 years ago.
Vintage.
Yeah.
3 years ago, maybe. I don't even know.
I forgot. Zill was still wearing his sweet superhero uniform.
Resurrect the chibi art.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll have to think about that for sure.
So anyway, Yeah, she's the heart. No, she's not the heart. She's the, I don't know. She keeps people alive,
She's
and
the
spirit.
soul of the party.
she's the soul of the party. She makes sure people are making
She's
good.
a
She's the
soul
conscience.
man.
She's the Jiminy Cricket of this party most of the time. So
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Our next player, Yuki.
Hi everyone. My name is Forged, or Dane here at Fantasy Forge Studios, and I play the character Mistletoe Yuki. She is a silver dragon from the far north reaches of Flamongolith, which is a silver dragon city. She is a bard character, however, mind-blowing. She's not a support. She's a DPS. She's a blade dancer class, which is pretty sweet. So she deals some damage with 2 broadswords and her dancing sword abilities, which is pretty sweet. Who knows? Maybe she'll be able to use them today on some nefarious ongoings that are going on. But yeah, she's really cool. I would say she's where Zil is kind of like the orphan of the party, and like he's really struggling with that. Luxalia is just the pious of the party. I don't know what Yuki is. I mean, I guess kind of, I would say level-headed, but then there's also things she's strong-headed about too. So I
she's
don't
the
know.
voice of the party.
She does sing, and she does she's got good charisma, so she does talk a lot. That's true. But aside from that, she's pretty sweet. She's got wings. She can fly. We saw that last session, and she's pretty cool. She's pretty sweet. She's just like Peter Pan. Just like
Yeah.
Peter Pan. And you know, the thing that really gets her off her feet are delicious smelling candles, specifically our Shiloh Harvest candle that just came out. For
Nice.
Fragrances of the Realm. It's our fall scented candle. It's
What
got a
does it
nice
smell
apple
like?
orchard scent. Apple
Apples?
orchard. It's really good. It's delicious. If you like, it's kind of the perfect fall candle because I feel like you could use it any time of year, not just fall time. But it definitely works for fall time. But yeah, we're gonna start with a nice Shiloh ambiance, especially since we are dealing with some demons potentially today. So okay.
Hmm.
Dealing
So,
with demons.
Is Zil feeling the heebie-jeebies?
the heebie-jeebies from the
Uh,
orphan.
Zil,
Yeah.
I think
He's
that
like,
was brought up
"Stand
last
up,
time.
stand
Zil,
up."
you are starting to peak. Although you have to realize too that some of the stuff that is happening are happening at different points. And so what we felt
True.
last time with Thordane and Belbin, that was into the future, further into the night.
Okay.
And so currently we're kind of warping back in time to the 3 of you. It's still the evening, like the early evening as you're exploring. So the sun's still up and everything. It's not the rainy evening where Belbin and Thordane are escaping. So we got a taste of that last session. We'll go over that a little bit in the recap. But at the moment, no, Zil, you are not feeling any heebie-jeebies.
Great. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, that's Yuki. We have 2 other characters for the sake of just brevity. I'll go over what they, who they are and what they say. Unfortunately, Connor was unable to join us. He had to do a little overtime work this week. But Belbin, he is the gruff, old, crotchety man of the party, and he had actually last session a awakening, or at least a bit of a come to Jesus moment. If that makes sense.
Come to Alomnia
Come to
moment.
Alomnia moment, where yeah, he's lived a life of doing a lot of bad things and experiencing a lot of bad things, and so it's basically scarred him up and grizzled him to the point where Belbin is who he is. He's one that isn't foreign to murder. He's one who isn't foreign to being a nudist. He also likes his wine.
Oh
We found
my
out last
goodness.
session. No. He's the another physical DPS of the party. He is an oblate class, but he is specifically a martial artist, and so he excels at punching things, ripping people's spines out, and adding them to his collection. At your guys' place back in Shiloh, or not Shiloh, back in Helix. And then our final character is Thordane. So Ikari is kind of on a long hiatus with us, but Thordane is an elven adventurer from the far eastern Wood Elf Kingdom of Rasu Call. And he is a tracker, and so what he does is he's great out in the wilderness, great guiding the party. He's the ship's captain, the Alomnia's Breath. He's a wrestle extraordinaire, WrestleMania WWE champion, and a rescuer of Belbin, as we found out last session. He has come in clutch so many times. He has a sword that talks to him. He's a philanthropist, as we all know, and also a man of science. So he's got a lot of hats similar to Zil. But he is also quiet, and he is a support character. Again, he is a ranger, he is a tracker, and he has all kinds of traps that we saw last time, and the ability to do some minor heals and support the party from the back lines. And I am Kyle. I am the Fate Weaver. I am the creator and inventor of this game, and we're making some progress as far as what's coming down the pipeline for Everlast, and we'll at some point, hopefully in the near future, begin to make some announcements of those things. But for the current, I am here just playing with and against these players as they forge their story in the heart of Everlast. It's crazy. But before we do begin, I'm going to go ahead and pop this up just for all of your information. But Fantasy Forge Studios and Kyle LaFonte own all copyrights in the text, images, video, audio, graphics, story, gameplay mechanics, and all the intellectual properties involved in the creation of Everlast. We own it. It is going to be sold on Kickstarter at some point in the near future. And with that being the case, don't take it. Claim it as your own or sell it. But feel free to use it for your own homebrew world. We want to be able to share this world with everybody. And with that out of the way, are we ready to jump into a little bit of a recap and go into today's session?
Let's go.
So the party of Eclaas Eeas, a group of adventurers from all parts of the continent, have gathered here in Folden Rock in the Great Peninsula, or not the Great Peninsula, in the Inland Strait of Everlast. They are currently on a mission of gathering the Keepers of the Keys, to which they have already, they are the Keepers of the Earth Key, from the fallen order of Amandalius down at Terra Bay Island. They've been tasked by the Keeper of the Flame Key, King Nalgoric Cragheim, to gather both King Farrand of the Feshenfey, which they went through a whole thing there, and to search for Aldreg Monteblair, who has last been rumored to have been seen at Folden Rock, hence the reason they are at Folden Rock. But in order to discover his location, they need to get in with the Harrogates, who are basically the merchant lords of this island, and they need to do something in order to be gain the attention. And so while venturing towards the Adventurers Guild, they discovered if they had the ability to confront Rollo Beaumont, one of the crime lords and pirates of times past, and bring him to justice, this could possibly gain them an audience with the Harrogates, as it does alleviate the town from a burden of thievery and wrongdoing within the lower city. And with that being the case, they set about doing their investigation work. Not only did they discover that there is going to be a nefarious meeting that is going to be happening down at Foggy Bay, but also, upon investigation, people are kidnapped, people are distracted and led astray, and the party has found themselves in multiple areas of this town. Currently, as we speak, as we found out last session, definitely Thordain and Belbin are in the thick of it. Yes, wow, of course. Yes, they are in the thick of it, and that kind of freaked me out. I was like, which one of you guys said that?
I gotta turn it off. I'm sorry. I gotta turn it off.
That was pretty great. But Belbin and Thordain found themselves in masquerade outfits, sitting at a table to which Belbin drank the wine. He drank the juice and started to feel a little bit wonky and woozy, getting flashbacks about his past life, driving him a little bit crazy. But from Thordain's perspective, he saw that these people were drugged and poisoned to the point where they were completely outside of their own faculties of reason. And one person in particular, a man with a raven cloak, and they found out later was wearing a sigil of the cult of Burbledau, an archdemon that they fought before the stream. The streamed version of this game happened. Was
the
behind it.
archdemon whose wing Zill wears as a cape.
Exactly. Might as well.
Maybe
might as well
Zill
be a
can get in
cultist.
with them. He
Could
could
be.
get in with them and be like, "Hey, this is Burbledow's actual wing. How cool am I?"
Yes.
And I can literally speak their language if they theoretically speak the wing.
That's
God. Are we sure
Zill
Zill's
has
not
become
evil?
a rogue? He's become the sketchy person of the party. But with that being the case, they were able to escape by paralyzing the guy and finding a secret hidden door out of the ballroom. And they made their way all the way to the High Priest Godfrey, back at Fulden Temple, to which Belbin was able to find a little bit of inner peace, talking about his past experiences, particularly about the experience that he had encountered in his flashbacks back at the manor. And with that being the case, we move down to the other two groups. So we have Luxalia and Yuki, who are currently at Foggy Bay, and they are investigating the scene that is, taking place there. And they just barely missed out on Rickett and the person that he was speaking with, a female voice, disappearing into the mist. But they are currently, at the moment, beginning an investigation of a black ship that has landed upon the shores of Foggy Bay. And Zill, on the other hand, is back inside Lowtown, speaking with a young boy. Did we decide what his name was? I think I have it.
I don't know.
Scarface.
Scarface, yeah.
I don't think if you ever
it's-
told me.
Yes, I think last session I just mentioned it. Maybe.
Billy Bull.
He said his name was Acalic. Acalic. So the boy's name is Acalic. And he gave Zill useful information, talking about how, yes, Soot and Ash the Candle Shop is a front for Rollo Beaumont and his doings. And he gave him some code words, some keys, in order to access the Rollo Beaumont's
I
quarters.
think it's I have a match? Question.
Yes. Well, so I believe so. Last time, this is actually good to go over. It's been a couple of weeks, so I have it in my notes here too. So
I cannot find my pen.
Just on the
Golden sword.
above game. I'm beginning more and more to kind of feel like Rollo Beaumont's not the actual bad guy.
Oh, Zill has already promised to try to give him a second chance.
Oh,
yes.
the orphan or Rollo?
The code
Rollo.
word to this, Zill, if you can hear, is so they'll say to you, the ashen clock strikes twice a day. Your answer to that is, do you have a match?
Okay. Great.
I'm
I
not
do
on
have
the
that written
alarm.
down, but I didn't know that was question and answer.
Yes.
And it was Alic.
What about one of these? Do these work?
Acalic.
It's not a match, but it does the
Acalic.
same
Okay,
thing.
great.
Perfect. And
I'll just spell
with
it.
that, so Zill is now on a quest to go see what he can do to confront, and he is left with the potential of doing this alone or waiting for the return of Luxalia and Yuki from their quest. Currently, at the moment, Zill, Luxalia, and Yuki have no freaking clue where Thordain and Belbin are, but looking into the future, we do know. And so, with that being the case, we're going to go ahead and reconvene on Luxalia and Yuki. So the two of you are down in Foggy Bay, and the last thing that we saw was Yuki spreading her wings, picked Luxalia up, and they flew up onto the decks of this black ship. The ship itself is probably lengthwise about the size of a Lamnia's breath, but it's got a smaller profile, and so the masts don't go up quite as high. And it's from the looks of it, including the cabin that's underneath the top part or the back part of the ship, it's probably 2 or 3 Dex, as it were. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Luxalia, can you see anything? Can we see anything?
It's still pretty foggy. At this point, you can only see about 6 to 8 feet in front of you in all directions.
I can only see 68 feet in front of me in all directions.
Wow, that's pretty good. I think you should be able to see everything.
Her eyes cut through the fog.
It must be a Glyphon thing. Well, I guess Yuki's gonna look around and see if she can. I mean, she saw the iconography of the mast, not the mast, the what's it called? This thing at the front of the ship. What was that again?
Yes,
It
and
was scary looking, right?
yeah, it was.
Bow pole.
Yeah, basically the ramming pillar, the ramming.
The
spear.
ornament.
Yeah, the ornament.
Yes.
That's actually probably the best way. So I'm gonna go ahead and plop Yuki and Luxalia down.
Dude, this
here.
ship is ginormous.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's like as big as Folded Rock, right?
Oh, dude, it's like as big as freaking the whole continent.
We'll do this.
Oh.
Is that better?
Yeah, because it's in the mists. Gorillas in the mists.
All right. And so now that you are here on the ship, yeah, you find yourselves.
Times of trouble.
And Mother Mary comes to you.
Mary comes to me, whisper words.
Yes, and so upon the ornament of this ship, all the way up at the front, and so the bay would be right here, as it's docked, is a long serpentine creature. And with that being the case, I'm going to have the two of you, as you approach the front of the ship, go ahead and make a knowledge skill check for me.
Oh, okay.
Starting off hot. Don't worry, it's all good, Luxalia.
Does it have to do with churches and stuff and temples?
No, not at this point.
Dang it.
13.
9.
This does look relatively familiar to both of you. However, Yuki, as you gaze at the creature, a shiver is drawn up your spine. This is an image, a large icon of the creature of the deep, Azaledoom.
I knew it.
Oh, a Azaledoom. Luxalia, look how small it is. I wish it was the one that we fought.
Yes, this is definitely not life-size.
Well, at the very least, we could say we've seen it. Is this a Azaledoom ship? She'll look around.
Probably.
As you look around, the first thing that you do notice is it's strangely empty. A ship this size, as mentioned, I think last stream, would take a minimum of about 8 people to sail it, like 8 skilled people to sail it. But as you board the ship, you see that there is no hint of anybody that are here. It's quiet. All you hear are the waves lapping against the shores of Foggy Bay, but there's not even creaks or anything of the kind that are on the ship. As you examine the wood, as mentioned, it is blackened and it is made of a glow twig, and so there is every now and then a faint bluish green twinkle that does come emit from the wood grains of the ship, kind of giving it almost an ethereal look.
I find it interesting they used a magical wood for this ship.
Well, it seems to be... Go ahead. Yes, Luxalia?
No, I was listening to what you were going to say.
Oh! This is all going on in real time. Well, I'm just saying that this ship doesn't even seem to be something of this terrestrial world itself. It's especially noticing that doesn't seem to be any crew. That seems to be quite mysterious.
Yes, quite.
We should keep our wits about us. How do we want to go about exploring this ship?
Carefully and quietly.
Do you want me to fly us from place to place, or do you feel comfortable walking?
I think we could walk.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll make sure my wings are ready in case we need a quick escape. And I guess Yuki will kind of go over here and explore to see if there's any like crates or barrels with any iconography over here that like kind of shows where the ships come from, or at least any of the dealings / cargo that's been getting dealt here.
As mentioned, it's oddly barren. There's like no trace that really anybody has been on here. However, it does look relatively fresh as far as, while the wood itself might be old, it looks like the lacquer and everything that has been applied to the Zerg wood has been upkept. You can actually smell almost the I don't know if like alcohol-y is the word, like paint-like smell of the ship. It seems relatively newly restored if it is old. But as you wander along the deck, Yuki, you notice that there are ropes that are tied up to the masts, but there are two crow's nests that are here, but they only stand probably about 10 feet up from the deck. But you look at towards the back and you see that there is a closed door that looks to be the captain's quarters, and also a stairway that leads up to the topmost deck. Luxalia, the first thing that you notice is beneath your feet at the front is a trapdoor.
Wow. I try to carefully look for traps
Okay.
and then open the trap door.
Make a focus
Why?
skill check for me.
Oh yeah.
Focus. Not good. Focus. 7.
This does not
That's
seem to
pretty
be
good.
trapped.
Okay, I quietly open the trapdoor and look inside.
As you reach down, you look for any sign of a lock, and actually there are none. In fact, as you reach down and grab the little handle to lift it, it opens immediately for you. But you begin to feel almost a cold sensation run through your body as you do open, and this puff of like cold air comes out from below, along with a dank musky smell. It's not the same from up top on the deck, the lacquer scent.
That's dank. Musky. Do I see anything down there?
It is pitch black.
Wow. That's black as pitch down there. If only I had an art that made light,
Yuki does too, technically.
but I don't. So that's unfortunate. I mean, I do, but they all do damage. And that's not the kind that I need. Hey, Yuki. There's a trap
yes,
door
Luxalia.
and
Trapped.
it's
Is it trapped?
cold. It's cold and
I like
dank
the
and
cold.
musky.
Oh, I don't like that though. Yuki comes over. Yeah.
The cold never bothered you anyway.
Well, I like the cold. I'm not sure about the dark and dusky though. And Yuki peers down. She's darkness.
It's absolute darkness. Almost like you can't even see like the floor down below. It just looks like as if you're staring into a void.
Luxalia,
Yes.
would you like to go explore down there? Cause
No.
I have a way to do it, but it might.
I'm going to look for some small thing I could drop down there
Oh yes.
on the ship.
As mentioned before, as you look around, there is nothing other than unless you wanted to start taking bits off the ship. And
Yeah, no. Hold on.
I
Let
have
me
an
look through my
arrow.
notes through
Here,
my bag.
Yuki hands over an arrow.
Oh, okay, that works. I drop it down there.
you see it go, and as it passes the threshold beneath, it immediately vanishes, as if a cloud takes it. But you do hear almost immediately a thud on the ground below.
Okay, there's some sort of magical darkness down there.
Do you want to try to see if we can light it up at all?
Do you have a way to do so?
Well, I mean, I got my rhythmic lights that I've been using for
Oh, yes.
however long we have. But also, I mean, don't we have torches and whatnot?
Mm.
Trying to think. Let me look through my. I do have a torch.
Wow, you should use that.
Yeah. She'll take out her torch, and she's going to use. Do you have any way to light it, Luxalia? I think I do.
I have a bandage and
Oh,
a golden sensor. Oh, I have a
is it
candle
light
too.
it? But is the candle lit?
Nope.
Oh,
Sure isn't. How about you
Oh.
just do the rhythmic lights?
okay. Well, rhythmic lights it, so she'll use a charge of her rhythmic
Technically,
lights
you
to-
could light the torch with your
with the rhythmic lights. That's true. Well, I'll do that and hand it to Luxalia.
Wow, thanks. But now we're really giving ourselves away here.
Well, we kind of already,
Well, just
Anyways.
do the rhythmic lights down there. See what happens.
Well, it's already on, so Yuki will start to climb down the ladder if there is one.
Yeah, so there's a ladder that is
If you
attached.
come
As you begin to climb down, you feel like creaking, almost as if the bars themselves are going to give way. Not because of your weight, but because of the age. And as you just one step down, I'm going to have you actually, Yuki, make a wisdom skill check for me.
Wisdom.
You're done for.
That's okay. She's decently wisdomy. That's a 12.
This ladder has not been used for more than probably 15 years.
She conveys this. I think this ladder's old. It doesn't look like anyone's ever used it.
Wow.
Are you sure there's no crew on here? This seems a little dubious. And she looks around as she's kind of descending.
As you descend,
See if she sees-
you actually feel a change as you pass the threshold into the darkness. And even for your standards, Yuki, this feels cold, but it's a different cold from the like frozen tundras of the Refinement Peaks. It's almost kind of like a soul chilling cold, like almost as if the cold's coming from the inside. I'm gonna need you to make a faith survival check for me.
Yeah.
Oh man, no.
That's okay. No worries. That's a 14 on the dice. And what is this? A fate survival check,
Faith
which is
survival.
what?
Faith
Faith?
survival. Faith.
18.
18. And as you pass below, you're able to steel yourself, but your lights, as they light up most everything on the top deck, they still light up beneath, but at a much lessened degree, almost as if the darkness is trying to push the light back into the source of it. But it does light up, I would say, about a 10-foot radius around you.
And is there anything, or is it just old empty ship?
So you go down onto this basically bottom deck, and you see, you look around, and there is stuff here. It isn't empty like it is on the top deck. You can see a number of barrels. Most of them have dust, and you can see kind of off in the distance, like the twinkling of the glow twig lumber that has been used to craft the boat. But you see what look to be holes in the side, not holes for cannons, but holes for oars. And currently there are oars that have been pulled in. The flaps of the ship have been basically closed and locked as you wander along these. And the oars seem to be laying on benches as if they are ready to be pulled out and used.
Yuki, or not Yuki. She's talking to herself now. Look, Solly, it seems like there's no one down here, but if you do come down, be at your own wariness. It seems soul-chilling, to say the least.
Luxalia, you don't hear anything as Yuki is speaking.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Sorry. Pardon my language.
Yuki, you okay down there? I
Did I
whispered.
hear Luxalia?
But then I'm keeping an ear out for anyone potentially coming back.
Yep, make a focus skill check for me, Luxalia.
Or Yuki? Or Luxalia?
Luxalia.
Oh.
Okay, that's better. 13.
13. You hear no sign of any more movement or traces of anyone coming back. The one thing that you did learn is any noise tends to be amplified here, and so it would be relatively easy up on the top of the deck to be able to hear if anybody is approaching, especially from the shore, as it's kind of the sand would give away their position quite easily. But again, during this whole time, you still can't hear Yuki calling back to you.
Yeah,
Or
Yuki's
calling
kind
you.
of getting freaked out by all this. So
nervous.
Yuki's gonna go over down by like the foot of the ladder and look up and see if Luxalia's still there.
Luxalia cannot see you.
But can I see Luxalia?
You can see Luxalia.
Okay. I'll call up
I'm
to her
just
since I
looking
know I can
down
see
there.
her. Yeah, I'll call up to her and say, Luxalia, if you want to come down here, it doesn't feel great, and basically just call up to her.
If you want to come down here, it doesn't feel great.
But you know, if we want to explore.
Okay, Yuki, are
Luxalia,
you down there?
Luxalia doesn't hear you.
What happened?
Yuki's kind of like this,
Oh,
like giving her a
Yuki,
look
maybe
like.
you should come back up here. I'm getting nervous.
Can she hear me?
All right.
She can't hear you.
She
Oh,
can see me.
but I can see.
You can see.
All right. Yuki will attempt to climb back up the ladder, seeing that Luxalia is somewhat confused.
And as you do so, your head pops up over the threshold of this, and you can immediately hear her quietly talking. And at this point, it actually kind of surprises Luxalia as your head just appears out of the darkness.
Oh, hey,
Look, oh, Luxalia, why weren't you coming down? I was calling for you.
I couldn't hear you or see you. I thought you just vanished into the void.
This is mysterious. It is soul chilling down there. That's what I was trying to tell you. I don't know if there's any blessing you could do on this ship, because it doesn't feel natural down here.
Yeah, not that I know of.
Maybe you could blow it up.
Hmm.
Is there anything you can do? Is there
I don't know.
any way?
Did we just blow up a ship? What? I mean,
Well, it seems
does it
it-
feel like
it's-
dark?
it's
not
oh yeah,
like
it's definitely
dark, but
spiritually
like-
shaking.
Like
It's
like
definitely
it's the
spiritually
void?
dubious.
Okay.
It wasn't void in that I was feeling. Do you think?
There would be no way of knowing.
I just know that gave me the heebie-jeebies. I don't
Nobody
get that.
Only
else has the
silver
Peter
here.
Tingle.
Yeah, I know we don't got the Peter Tingle man with us, so you know. It's
Okay.
well, if you do you want to come down with me, or
Not really. You're
'Cause
not
there's
making
there's-
it sound fun.
well, there's stuff down there actually. This place is pretty
What?
empty, and there's actually some things down there.
Stuff.
Well, from
Well,
what I
there's
saw, there were a bunch of barrels. It looked like it hadn't been touched for at least a decade or more. Dust everywhere. It seemed like there were oars ready to go to push
I
the
think we
ship
should
off.
check
But
the captain quarters first.
well,
before
Yuki
I
will
go
climb
down
up and
there.
And we'll also say to Luxalia, well, let's try to be swift about it, because I don't know how much longer we have on ourselves
Yes.
here.
I agree.
So
Also,
we'll make.
I'm gonna start casting shimmer on the two of us.
I
So,
don't know what that does. What does that do?
makes you look like you put on some sweet highlighter, and you're just
Ooh.
sparkling now. No, I'm just
Like
kidding.
a disco ball?
Yeah.
Basically, on a success, so it's a DC 6 minus the caster's piety, skill
Mhm.
check. Whatever. I think I automatically pass it at
Yeah,
this
I
point.
think you have a 7 or something.
On a success, the target gains +1 modifier to all mind, faith, and charm survival checks for the
Ooh.
next 10 minutes.
Would you rather me as well do a little performance to raise our spirits?
Sure.
Or do you think
don't-
it'd be too loud? 'Cause
Probably
I gotta
too
sing.
loud. Yeah,
Okay,
no,
well, we
let's
won't
let's
worry
just
about
do
that.
the shimmer. I'll
Okay,
say,
shimmer.
Alamnia, protect us against the arts of the enemy. And then I bump you on the head.
And instead of a
Oh,
cold
my
soul
soul.
chilling that you get a nice warm feeling tingle.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. This is quite nice. Why haven't you done this before, Luxalia? I like this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like when they do the crack an egg on your head, trickle down. You know, it's kind of like that.
Got the chills. Got
Yeah,
the chills.
it's like a warm
Anyways, we
chill.
make our way over to the captain's quarters
All right.
as we're making our way over there.
The door is closed as you approach, and it looks to be still wooden, but it has steel bands that are across it. This one clearly does have a visible lock on it.
Let's check for traps.
Okay, go
I will
ahead.
check for traps.
Make a focus skill
you-
check. This could be with hope.
Yuki will
Ooh.
start to stretch her legs out a little bit.
Nice. 15.
15. As you investigate, you see that the lock does seem to have some kind of elemental something to it.
Mm. This lock has some sort of elemental something to it.
Is it just the lock or is it the whole door?
Just the lock.
Just the lock. Maybe you could donkey kick it.
He's gonna donkey kick the straight middle of the door. She's gonna freaking donkey
Just
kick the
don't
heck out
hit
of that.
the lock. Also,
I
I'm
know, I
gonna
won't.
stand out of the way.
Make a physical skill check for me.
Okay. I'm good at physical. I always
Quietly.
forget. That is a natural 16 for a total
baby.
of 22.
Ooh.
Explain how this is going to look for everybody.
Yeah. So she's avoiding the lock. So she's kind of going towards like the middle of the door. She's trying to basically punch a hole through the middle of it. Not necessarily knock it off its hinges because it seems to be magically locked. But since it's like kind of old wood and, you know, things like that, she's going to try to just put a hole through the middle so she can peep inside of it.
Okay. As you do so, you line yourself up facing away from it as you rear your leg back out and then boom! And with one kick, you boom! Bust a hole right through the center of the door. That's probably about 2 feet in diameter across from it. And as you do so, you feel like an immediate chill and essentially a wailing starts to come out of it, almost as if like a high-pitched screech begins to emit from within the confines of the room.
Ooh,
I think we should go. I think it's time to leave.
Should we wail back at it? Just screams back up.
Come on, Yuki. Let's fly back. They're probably going to be on their way back now.
Okay, Luxalia. We didn't find any clues, though. This is such a bummer.
I mean, we could go
Yuki
back
will peek inside the door and see if she sees anything before we take off.
As you peek inside the door, this place is lit. However, there are a number of floating candles that are around. They seem to have a blue light, like a blue candle light that's flickering around. You see a desk, you see a bed, and on the desk you see a number of things, one of which being what looks to be a map, and the other seems to be a letter that is currently just been finished from what it looks like. It's been signed and dated with a quill right next to it.
Should we grab it?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Can you get in there through that hole?
Unfortunately, with Yuki's wings, she's going to struggle to get through.
Luxalia, do you want to go grab it?
I hate you, Yuki. Sure. Cover me. And I go in.
I'll cover you, don't worry.
And I quickly
Just run. Just run.
try to grab whatever I can.
As you jump through the hole in the wall, or the hole in the door, as you pass through this threshold, the wailing stops. However, Yuki still hears it on her end, almost as if it's being emitted outward, and so you can no longer hear it. However, as you make your way over to the desk, as you pass each candle, the blue turns to an orange flame. As you get closer and closer and closer to the desk, you see this map, and it's a map of the Inland Strait, as it were. Put that on so you guys can see that, and you can see a couple of things immediately. Unless you want to take the map and just take everything that's there and make a run for it, I can explain to you if you want to take some time to look at it.
No, I'll just take it and run.
Okay. And then the letter as well?
Yeah.
Okay. You grab the
I'm
letter.
in fight or flight, baby, and I'm flight all the way.
Make a focus skill check for me.
Oh, no.
Luxalia.
Oh. 6.
You take it, and you take the letter as well, and as you run back towards the door, the flames go from the orange to blue again as you pass through it. As you jump through the the hole made in the door, you can immediately start to hear the wailing again. I'm gonna have you make a faith survival check for me, Luxalia.
And Yuki grabs her as this is happening, grabs her by the armpits,
Yeah,
and
Luxalia.
takes off in this direction.
FATH.
This direction towards the way we came.
Okay. My faith is pretty good. 19.
19. You pass through the threshold and you hear this this chilling scream, and you for a moment feel as if this scream is coming from your own voice, and then you're able to snap out of it and see Yuki there basically grabbing you and leading you towards the front of the ship. You do not suffer any negative effects from being within the room.
Whoa!
And we're gonna do the Titanic. Luxalia's gonna stand on the bow, and Yuki's gonna grab her by the waist, and then we're gonna start singing some Mariah Carey as we fly into the mist.
Upwards
Yeah.
or outwards?
Yeah.
Fly.
Yeah. I mean, back towards where we had come, like towards the ladder, and making our way towards that entrance that we had come through
Entrance
previously.
Wait.
Oh, like when we entered Foggy Bay, we're gonna make our way back.
Yeah. So
towards
like
that
up.
specific-
Got it. So are you leaving
yeah.
Foggy Bay?
I mean, well, Yuki's gonna be like, "Did you find anything, Luxalia?"
By the way,
Yeah.
down beneath the mist, you can still hear the wailing. It's a little bit more distant, but it's not as intense as it was up on the deck. It seems to be persistent.
Do I have a torch? Did we establish that I have a torch?
You do have a torch, and it was
Yeah.
lit by
Yeah. The rhythmic lights are still going, by the way.
Oh, where do you think
Unless
the
you
best
wanna-
place to try to burn this place down is? Maybe the
everywhere.
sails? That might help.
Everywhere.
I tried
Everywhere.
to like.
Yeah, we're gonna try to-
kind of just throw it onto the ship and hopefully on one
Yuki-
of the sails.
Yuki at will can explode her lights, so she'll try to explode them in key places as she's running by.
Okay.
Like,
With all of this, I'm gonna have you make knowledge skill check for me,
Oh
Yuki.
my God.
Luxalia, you don't. You just chuck it down on
Yeah, I'm
what you think
aiming
is most
for
flammable.
this.
Knowledge.
Oh gosh, where's my?
11.
I'm aiming for this sail,
Okay.
kind of this area.
All right, perfect. There are a few strategic places, particularly some of the rope areas that could burn. Luxalia, as you throw onto the sail, it sticks kind of on the sail and then basically pops off and then falls onto the deck of the ship. You see that there's a little bit of smoldering, but it's almost as if the wood itself is damp, and it begins to kind of have like the white like smoke coming from it as opposed to like a dark like burning smoke. The torch is still lit, and who knows, after some time it might go up in flames, but at the moment
Luxalia.
not so much.
Do you have any alcohol on you?
Yuki, as you explode
Yes.
as you explode your rhythmic lights, boom, one explosion, and you actually start to take off chunks of the ship.
Yeah, it's
as
1d10 damage for each.
Okay.
So
So go ahead and
I've
roll
got
those.
some earth flame wine and some sake. The good stuff.
Yuki will hand over the Gloof backpack and see if she's got anything, and you can look through it as she's doing this. So she's got
I
Kamela's
put
looking through.
The
Igor
stuff I
Izake.
stole into the gloof bag.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Meat ration improvement.
As Gloop just goes up, Gloof and just eats it. And then he
I'll allow you to use one charge of my Earth Flame wine. I have a full bottle. I haven't used any of it, so you can
Okay.
use a charge.
What am I using it for? Just drinking?
No. You burn the ship down with it. You know, alcohol burns.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I toss it
D10.
near the flame of the torch. Yeah.
So the first
Perfect.
one's 10 flame damage. Second one is 6 flame damage, and the last one's 5 flame damage.
All
so
right, these
21
explode-
flame damage.
These explosions happen. The first one being at these ropes, and it explodes the bottom of the rope and actually the whole railing off as it just explodes outwards. But the flame begins to creep up towards the sails. The second one that goes off is basically up in this area. As it explodes a big hole in the ship, and you can feel cold coming out from down below. And the third one that explodes is right by where the torch is, where Luxalia poured the alcohol, and there's basically this big conflagration of just a giant flame pillar that goes up, and you can see that the mist itself separates from it as it probably extends off into the sky. Zill, I'm gonna have you make a wisdom skill check for me.
Yuki, we gotta go!
Yeah. Oh, she is ready. She's grabbing you and flying towards the exit.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh. 7.
It's okay.
7.
It's bringing attention to the nonsense.
You hear a low rumble, but you do not see the brief pillar of fire that if you remember, Zill is in Rat's Alley, so Rat's Way.
Can I make a
avoid?
I guess it'd still be wisdom, but if it's not, you can decide to be like, somehow this was us.
Yeah, you like
Check.
This is something that you haven't felt before. Like you felt that, and it's just like, well, that's out of place. It's clearly out of place. But you don't see the pillar of fire that extends to the sky behind.
Do I make the connection that it was probably my friends?
Yeah, I would say that's
Oh,
reasonable.
Yeah, whether it was Belbin and Thordan or
That's true.
Victoria, you don't know, but
I'm like, I don't know, but I'm like, somehow this is our fault.
yeah.
Yuki, you take Lusalia as you fly off. Are you flying up above or
No,
are you flying
just
to the ladder?
under, basically just under the eaves of the mist.
Okay.
So she'll go up as high as she can and then fly towards wherever that is. So
You look back and you see the ship seems to have caught fire to a degree, and you hear the familiar cracking of burning wood as you make your way out towards the ladder.
And Yuki says to herself, "May Alomnia smite this evil," as she goes.
Amen.
What is the amen again for Alomnia?
Yeah, what is it? I forgot.
Yeah. The
It's
amen
like,
is
it's funny.
It's
It made me laugh. I remember.
it is. I have it pulled up here.
It doesn't matter, but like, I just thought it was funny.
I don't know why I can't find it in my notes here. Give me 1 second.
I'm giving you 1 second,
1.
maybe 2, maybe 3. I'll be generous. And I'll give you 4.
What about 5?
It's get a little too generous, but you know what? I'm a giving guy. I'm turning into Thordain the philanthropist. So yes.
Oh,
What is your-
Coelon.
Well on. Then it wasn't that. Then there was something that was funny that we heard at the mass that made me laugh. Anyways, Coelon.
Jackman Knobs.
No.
The evil pirate king.
Oh my goodness. I forgot to tell you guys. There was like a sea shanty I was listening to, and part of the chorus was just Timmy.
What?
I do
Like
not
from
remember
South
what-
Park?
No, it was a sea shanty, just on a sea
Oh.
shanties playlist.
Timmy.
Basically. I know this is not at all what is going on right now. Sorry,
It's
audience,
nice,
but it
it's all
needed to
good.
be shared.
It needed to be shared. That you just hear Timmy on the wind as Barnacle Bill is doing his thing.
Barnacle
Do we
Bill
make it
also
though?
fell with Rimmer and was like, Timmy.
To the exit? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you make your way to the exit. You fly to the ladder, or it's technically a rope. It's not a ladder. It's
Yeah.
a rope.
Yeah. And I fly to the as top as we can, and kind of let Luxalia up in front of me, and then we finish climbing up.
Okay.
Make our way
Where
to
are
the
we
exit,
climbing? I'm so confused.
where we came down into.
Into
Here,
where?
I got it. I got
This
it.
area?
I got it. Right here. Remember, we climbed up here,
Right here.
Oh,
or
yeah.
right here.
Yep.
And then we exited
no,
out
right
wherever the
Right here.
exit is. Yeah, right there.
Alright. Are we leaving? Leaving?
Yeah, we're leaving. What else are we gonna do?
I don't know. See what they do about it.
Okay, well, if
We
you
still
want to,
don't know
can we
much.
see? Can we see?
Yeah, I guess we can't. I could listen.
You can see a faint glow of the burning deck of the ship in the distance, but you can't really see anything. And the crackling of the fire really overpowers the silence there. However, Luxalia, I will have you make a focus skill check for me.
Let's go. Come on, baby. Roll high for me. Oh, not bad. Focus, I believe that's a 13.
You begin to hear distant yells, almost as if they are people from above, as they see the smoke begin to rise, probably people that saw the pillar of flames lash out and lick the sky.
Okay, people are coming. Not
We should leave
from-
then.
Yeah, let's leave. But that might look suspicious. Maybe we should pretend like we're coming to investigate too. Once we see something.
Should we just do our banshee routine?
No.
Ooh, we are the ghosts of the
it's
sea.
We have condemned this ship to hell. Yeah, maybe not.
Oh,
I can't make you invisible this time.
I know, but here's the thing: we will, if we do look like we're coming in, how would we have gotten in? You know,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
like it's one of those things where we would have been like allowed
Seeing
in.
the crime is usually a bad thing, but I guess let's do it.
We flee the scene of the crime.
As you rush out, I'm gonna have the two of you make stealth skill checks for me.
The second I see somebody like coming that can see us, I'm gonna like
Be like, oh my gosh, Yuki, did you hear that thing? Oh, wow. And then just pretend to be
Stealth.
like
Stealth.
drunk girls on their way home from a night out, you know?
An early night out.
That's 12.
well, it's probably what 7 p.m.
Oh my
Luxalia,
goodness.
come on.
What is
Four.
Luxalia's roll? 4. Nice. Nice. So as you leave and you depart, and your heads pop up basically past the fog of the foggy bay, you climb through the wooden slat in the gate. You see that there are a number of people that are there. Luxalia, she's the first one that begins to crawl out. As she looks, she can see that people are like looking at her as she is crawling out, and she looks at them. And Yuki, you look back and you see that there's black smoke that's beginning to come out of the mist up into the sky. But Yuki, you
I
have not
go.
left yet.
I
You
say,
have not been
"Help!
spotted.
No! There's been an attack! There's fire! Help!
Make an influence skill check for me.
oh gosh.
Damsel in distress.
Oh, nat 16.
These people gather around and they're like, "Oh, poor dear!" as they pull you out, and they see that you have like smoke.
My friend is still in there, please!
Somebody!
And I hear
somebody,
this, I'm like,
they call so they call up to the guards that are up top, and the guards are just like, "Goodness, are you sure?" And you see that there's one that like takes off his spear and swan dives into the bay. You barely hear him call from down below.
Oh my goodness.
"Where are you? I'm here to save you."
No,
No, she's just behind me. She's not in the bay.
I got the black lung.
Oh no.
Make way.
You begin to crawl out as some of the people have already started wrapping Luxalia in blankets and pulling you out of the wooden slat. And you see one of the guards. He comes over and he's like, "Well, this isn't right. How did you get down here? Oh, this is dangerous." And he takes a nail and he starts nailing the wood slat shut again. And they begin to ask you like, what's going on. At this point, Zil, you can hear the wailing from Luxalia. Just, "Oh, somebody help me!" And you genuinely, with that Nat 16 performance, you genuinely think she's in absolute trouble. Like,
Yes.
dire despair. Like, as if she
Yes.
is...
I
on
guess
death's
I'm gonna
door.
start moving that way then.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna say, oh,
Like if
you're
she's
such
that
a
convincing.
strong man. And slightly seductively, I'll just be like, yes, my friend and I, oh, we were just out from a night on the town, and suddenly there was bags over our heads and some screaming, and then it went all black for a second, and when we woke up, we were on the sand, and I don't know how we got there, and oh my gosh, and then there was this explosion, and we somehow got free. I don't know, and maybe someone helped us, but we ran for our lives. Go investigate. There's nefarious things happening down there.
Well, one of the men that are there helping you, he says, "Wow, that sounds so difficult. I can't believe that's happening here in Lowtown." And he looks around and he's like, "Did you get any facial recognition of anybody that this could be?"
Oh, I begin to describe the old hag. Was there an old hag?
It was the lady, yeah.
The lady. I begin to
The
describe
lady.
the lady. It's been too long, Meta. I don't remember how she was described, but
Well, so like the lady down on the beach,
Heard
Yeah.
voices.
you
Yeah,
heard
certain
voices, you never actually saw a face.
Okay,
Isn't
well, I
that
say there was a lady, and she was kind of cloaked, and she sounded old. But then I did see the face of this one gentleman, and I
Anies Vavuzar?
what's his bucket?
Probably.
What was his name? Not Nelgs, but
Ricket.
Ricket.
I described Ricket because I've seen him before.
Yeah, and
I know
Yuki
that-
will chime in and says, and they were talking about some sort of deal having to do with willing sacrifices, and
Yes,
thought
I
that was
did
us.
hear that. I was like, I'm not willing. How'd I get here?
And one of the guards at this point makes his way over around the time that Zil comes to the group, and clearly there is a panic. Everybody's pointing, and you hear screams of people just like, "Oh, what is going on?" Like at the like flames that are like licking the
What?
sky, like in the bay. There's like a glow at this point, like an orange
When in
glow
doubt,
coming out.
Make a secret.
Zill's just looking out at the bay, and he leans over to Yuki very quietly. What did you do?
It was such a blur, but I think it's for the best.
Oh, you look like a strong man.
And why did you not invite me?
Oh, Sil. Oh, that's you. Oh,
Hi, Luxalia.
worried
Are-
about you.
Are you okay?
Oh, and I hug Zil dramatic like, and I say, yes, we're fine. I'm just causing a scene.
And Yuki says, "Where were
I
you?
see,
Sil,
I see.
Without a strong man to protect us, we
How
were
can I help?
captured."
How can I help?
Well, don't leave our side again, you strong man, you.
Of course.
And one of the guards, he looks at you, Zil, and he's like, "I am disappointed in you leaving these two beautiful young lady to walk about at this hour."
We're just not gonna mention the princess.
Where is she?
I don't know. I think she went back to the
Where
ship.
Did she? I hope
How
so, because my goodness.
Oh gosh, what's her? All I can think of is Irea, but that's the princess of Helix, isn't it? Mila, there it is. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she is on the ship. We left her that morning there when we had
Something
gone.
like that.
Did we? Or no, we brought her.
She was with us.
She had your axe.
I remember. But
Yeah, I
thought-
gave her one of my hand axes.
I thought she went back to the ship after the temple sacrifice.
Can Yuki make an investigation check? Suddenly remember about Mila, and see
Yeah, make a
She
knowledge
can re-
skill check.
if she can remember where she is.
Oh man, if she's the willing sacrifice.
Oh no.
It's a two, or not two, 12.
12. You
Temple
think
stew.
back, and the last thing that you remember is after the sacrifice, you were walking down towards basically the front gate, and that was the last that you remember seeing of her or hearing
what
from
the
her.
heck? I think we have a problem. Do you remember where Lady Mila is?
No, it feels like it's been months. This whole night has just felt like months.
This
I don't
was
know.
supposed to be a joke. I didn't mean to cause a stir.
It's okay.
Yuki will say like, oh, I just have to change my clothes. The smoke damage.
Well,
It'll never come out.
Maybe she's with Thordane and Belbin, wherever they ended up. I'm sure they
I
probably
hope
just
not.
went back to the ship, right?
I hope not. Well, Yuki's gonna make her way back towards the ship first
Yes,
for
let's
the
check
night.
the
At the
ship
very least, for the
now.
night. Yeah.
Yes.
Go down here. Where are we? Right here.
As this commotion is really starting to wreak havoc, you can see that a number of people have made their way down into Foggy Bay, what look to be guards, and you hear calls like "A ship's on fire! A ship's on fire!" But basically, by the time they get to it, it's like a husk of it. And so what they do is they end up pushing it afloat into the bay, where it eventually does sink and
Good for
become
us.
consumed by the flames.
Mission accomplished.
We
Did
got rid of
that.
evil ship. We got rid of evil glow twig demon ships. I like it.
That's right.
Yeah.
At this point,
Zale.
it's around 7:30 or 8 p.m. at night. The sun has set, and the night has become aglow with all of the lanterns. You could still smell the heavy smoke in the air, and the word of the pillar of fire that streaked the sky is all that is being heard as you make your way back. Yes.
Quick question. Did the screaming stop once it got burned up, the ship? Like the wailing?
That's a good question. As you left basically the bay, the wailing was still going. Eventually, at some point, it did end up vanishing.
Okay.
But not until after you walked away. But it wasn't strong enough to where it was like blaring. It's kind of like almost kind of like a high pitch in the back of your ears. As
It was a siren voice. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
kind of. As you made your way up onto the land and you were being saved.
Zil, escort us back to the ship, please.
We will make our way there.
And the guard, he says,
Don't worry, I
and
won't leave her.
don't take your eye off of them.
I won't. I won't.
And I'll kind of like take Zill's arm and pretend to be all feeble and weak.
Zil just kind of thinks to himself, he's like, they can handle themselves without me just fine. Like, they're probably safer without me, actually.
No, we can't. No, we can't.
He's thinking
We're
this to
poor. We're
himself. He's-
poor damsels. We're caught in a
Yes.
fire. We didn't start it at all.
We didn't start the fire.
All right. Do we get back to the ship?
You
with
do
no
eventually
issues?
make your way
Okay.
back to the ship. You hear a couple of rumors about like, oh, those must have been the girls that were trapped down there, and like as you continue to look feeble and everything. Again, it's clear smoke damage has taken over, and like you were clearly a part of this, soot and everything on your face, and you eventually make your way over to the ship and you climb up board, and immediately you see one person who does come to who does come to greet you.
Is it Martha? Martha's the whip. Why can I only hear Lila? No, not Lila.
The whip.
Yeah, I just remember the
There's
whip's
a whip.
name.
There's a way.
There's a way. If there's a whip, we don't want to go to war today. Sorry.
Yes, and so and it's a voice that says, "Oh, thank goodness!"
Oh,
as
gosh.
Nalathir
Is-
makes his way over to
Oh.
you, and he looks at both of your faces and he brings you close and he's like, "This won't do, this won't do," and he takes out a hanky and he begins to clean your face off, and he says, "My one complaint about this adventure is there's no showers on
Super
board."
aristocratic passenger.
Yeah, yeah. He liked our Yelp review on our ship.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
WrestleMania champion, third place.
Oh, thank you. What a kind, gentlemanly lad you are.
And I pat his cheek.
Well, I'm just doing it's all in a hard day's work. I was just settling in for the evening. I've been, perusing the town all day, and I am just quite distraught over the fact that I haven't seen either of you all day. In fact, where is our captain?
What do
Oh,
you
you mean
mean?
he's not here?
No,
Thordan
of
hasn't
course
made his
not.
way back.
The captain hasn't been here all day. In fact, actually, and he points over to someone who is looking at her clipboard. This is clearly Bree, and she looks up and she says, "Oh, thank goodness you're back. Have you been causing issues here in town? I saw a big pillar of fire. Captain's not here. I have no idea what's going on."
Let's talk about this
Bree.
below deck.
Have you known us long enough that you even have to ask that question anymore?
And
Of
she rolls
course
her-
we were involved.
She rolls her eyes and she
Let's not
just
say this
says,
in the open air, everybody. Okay?
Nalathir says, "Goodness gracious, you were involved in that too, Zil. Well, you look positively
This time,
clean."
no. I did come after the fact, but I came after the fact.
And I start ushering them
And
inside.
speaking of which, Yuki calls over to Bree. Bree, has Princess Mila made her way on the ship?
No, nobody really has.
Oh my god. Oh no. we effed up, God.
I don't even remember when this happened. Was I present?
I don't know.
What? No, we just forgot about her. Like, we forgot that she joined us on her journey, and we
No, I
never.
didn't. She was at the temple, and then I think I left because I had to leave early.
No, I know, and that's the thing. So, like, we went on our back to our adventure, but then we just completely spaced where she went. Apparently, we don't keep track of people. That we were
Okay,
supposed
okay. Let's go look for the remainder of our party, shall we?
to- I mean, I don't know.
Nalathir,
I mean, we
he
can
says,
look in-
no, you need at least a change of clothes. He's like, just but 1 second, I think I have some in my wardrobe, as he hustles downstairs.
And
And I
Yuki will
look
say to
down and
her,
it's like,
we can
yeah.
only really explore Lowtown in the harbor district. We're not allowed in Hightown past this time of night.
Well, then we will search what we can search.
Sounds good. Yuki kind of wants to make her way when she can over here. This looks interesting. Number
Okay.
4. Number 4. North Light.
I mean, I'm just ready for a nap.
Still, our friends are missing.
I know, but how often do they go missing? Do we freak out and everything's fine?
Maybe Thordan and Belbin, but what about Princess Mila?
At what point of night is this?
Yeah, it's about like 8:30.
At what point, time-wise, would my Peter Tingle kick in?
This would probably only start happening until around 1 or 2 a.m.
Okay.
At the very least, Zil, we should, until we unturned every stone, look around town. It's still the evening is early. We can always come back and get some rest.
Okay.
Also, we have some. And yeah, look. Looks like Yuki leans in and whispers into his ears. We have some news, as well, that we'll discuss when we get back.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We're gonna go change our clothes. We'll be right back.
And I take Yuki and to change clothes so that we look different, I suppose. And then I also take out the map and the letter, and we read and investigate those
Quickly,
things.
we'll just look.
Be like,
Alright.
this is what I got.
As you pull out the letter, I'm going to have you make a
Uh-oh.
knowledge skill check for me.
Okay.
Who? Luxalia?
Whoever's reading it.
That's Luxalia.
Yeah.
She's got it.
I got
I believe in her.
Ooh. Now the rolls are in my favor. Knowledge, you say?
Knowledge.
17.
17. As you investigate this, give me 1 second as I go over to my. Man, I have too many things here.
Well, I'll tell you. Sometimes when a donkey kick's successful, when you're not expecting it to be, it's a pull things out of your butt.
Okay.
You're not
Um,
expecting.
As you look at this, you notice immediately that you're unable to read it. However, you do recognize this as the Ludric language. This is a form of Elvish that is primarily spoken by the elves of Feshenfey.
Perfect.
Fashion Faye Eldritch.
Roastify
You
Mila.
just gotta
Oops.
find me, Okay, well, let's keep this on our person and look at this map.
Hey, there's also someone else on the ship that could help you with this.
Oh,
Oh my gosh!
Oh!
I forgot he's Fashion Faye. Do we trust him on Nalathier?
thank you, Alomnia, for reminding us.
That Nalathier is Fashion Faye.
Yes.
do
Do
we?
we want him to know what this letter is saying?
He seems harmless enough to me. I guess
No, I don't think we should be.
Okay, but how
doing
many times have we
This is like
trusted
going back.
harmless people and it's come back against us?
Zill, why are you in here? I'm
Zero.
changing.
Zill from outside the door.
I
He's
want to
always
make
gonna
sure I
work.
know what's going on.
But
okay,
can you
Zill.
do it? Turn the other way.
I'm like talking from outside the door apparently.
Okay. Scared me for a moment.
Well, you know, Zill, this is kind of what we found. I mean, it's true. Maybe we should hold on to it until maybe our last. At least we have Nalathier. To me, he seems trustworthy enough,
Me?
especially if he doesn't know
No.
what's going on.
We will wait for Mila because she's actually part of this adventure and he's not.
That's true. Well, but it could be like a scholarly endeavor for him. I don't know.
No, this is
He seems
probably
so-
nefarious. You know what happened when I went through that hole? There were blue
No.
candles and they turned orange as I passed them. That's magic crap. And I'm not talking mana. I mean magic. That's scary.
But are you okay now?
Yeah,
Hey, nice.
yeah. But
Okay.
I'm just
What
saying,
do we see on
this
the map?
letter probably
Yeah.
has nefarious things in it, and I don't want that guy knowing and spreading out. He has a loose tongue. That man.
Well, you know, him and Belbin, both of them. But we trust Belbin, don't we?
Nah,
That's debatable.
he has his
Speaking of which, where
purposes.
is he? We need to
I
find
don't
him.
know. Let's go look for our party.
After we look at this map,
Yes.
Oh
and
my.
we look at it.
At this point, I'm assuming the two of you are finished changing and you're able to get
Yeah,
a moment
Zill-
with
Zill,
Zill
come
to
in.
be able to.
Come on,
take
Zill.
over.
Phil, we're done. Get in here.
Finally, you guys take forever.
Hell, you know, smoke damage.
Oh, I guess.
You see a couple. You see a couple
Although
of things.
Zill doesn't think anything of smoke damage, he's actually very confused because he is always around smoke.
Hell,
And
you
so-
Yeah, he's got a nice like cinder type smell. It's nice.
I don't want to know
Not-
what your lungs look like.
I don't even know what you mean.
Oh,
See,
cool.
I have to worry.
My what?
about
My chest bellows.
Yeah, your chest bellows. They're kind of like bellows in your chest.
Ah, those things, yes. They're probably well seasoned.
Who's vacuuming?
His chest
Definitely
bellows.
not the mysterious Mrs. Beekler, who's
Oh, okay.
not related at all to this game.
You see Buffalo Bill come down the hall. Ah, don't mind me. Just
What
catching
is
up on my
that?
chores.
Barnacle Bill moonlights
It's
as a
it's a
maid.
bellows vacuum. So you do this.
Oh, nice. It's like in Zelda.
Yeah, exactly.
Barnacle Bill
but
realized
anyways,
we shorted him on what we're paying compared to everybody
Well,
else.
he
he's
did
just
what?
So
happy
he
to be
moved
part of
as a maid.
He's happy to be part of something.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's happening.
He lives to sail.
Also,
He would do this for free.
It's
Let's be
very
honest.
funny that Nalathier in at least my spreadsheet is Nalathan.
Malayan.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I
At
like
this
Alright, are we
point,
gonna
though,
go search?
at this point, before
We
you
gotta
guys
see
take
the
a look
map.
at the map, we're gonna
Oh,
take
yeah.
a quick break. I need a quick bio break. So we'll reconvene in
Okay.
5 minutes at the
And
10 mark.
I have to get going because I work really early.
Okay,
No problem.
we'll reconvene.
Just make sure you guys go search for Princess Mila.
Sounds good, Luxalia.
Good night, Cole.
Have a good bio break.
Yep, sounds good. Bye. All right, hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Make sure you guys go on mute, and we'll reconvene at the 10 mark. And we are back. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Really appreciate it. But we are back without Cole. Let me go ahead and pop the Luxalia.
Here.
Yeah. Well, that's Yuki.
Fine.
Luxalia.
He was productive.
Yeah, quite productive. All right, cool. Sweet. And now we're back. So currently, you guys are taking a look at this map that has been that has been uncovered, and a couple of things of note. I'm gonna have the two of you make knowledge skill checks as you investigate and study this this map, as it were.
Knowledge, you said?
Knowledge. I don't have any knowledge. I have no education.
11.
11.
9.
The two of you, the first thing you notice is basically in bold red script, you see this X over this island down here. Which, Yuki, you know this to be Sky Spire Island.
Island.
You see what is this X, and the two of you are able to see written in the Ludric text, same text that the letter is written in, something scrawled on the side of it. Additionally, you see what looks to be an X that is here in the Bay of Feshenfey.
Fetch me from
But this X has been scribbled out, and more Ludric text has been written on the side. And lastly, you see what is an X here at Folden Rock. And with that being the case, you see is the X, or there's actually currently a circle there, and there's Ludric text that is written beside that as well.
Well, it doesn't seem like we can decipher much from this, aside from if we don't have anyone who can read this. Can you read Ludric, Zil?
I don't know. I'm checking my languages. I know I don't.
I don't think Luxalia can.
But Zil is gonna look at it, and he's just gonna go for it.
Ooh.
He's gonna have no idea what he's saying, but he's gonna try to read it.
Go for it. Let's start down here.
What does Ludric sound like?
Ludric is said to resemble the call of the waves. This is the main dialect spoken of the elves of Feshenfey.
What's like a real language it would potentially sound like?
It's like a mixture.
Beluga
It's
noises.
like Beluga whale noises. No,
Whale
it's like a
like
mixture.
Dory.
It's probably like a mixture between like the Welsh language and more kind of like Scandinavian type like
Okay,
lots of like like up and down, like the sound of like the waves.
Disclaimer, I know very little about those cultures and languages, and this is
Get it.
a joke. Swada booja wada shada bada shada.
Oh,
Swedish chef.
yeah. So Yuki's like, oh yeah, Zil. What does that mean?
I haven't a clue. I was
Oh.
just giving it my best guess.
Oh yes. Well, I can't make any 2 words from any of this.
Luxalia chimes in. She says, I don't know. I thought that sounded pretty good to me.
I mean, it could have convinced me.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Buffalo
Luxalia,
Bill,
you
do you... I mean, Barnacle Bill, do you know how to speak Elvish? Do I know how to speak what?
Never mind, Barnacle Bill. Get back to your vacuuming. We appreciate you.
Ah, yeah. And he goes, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And he's like, you might want to scoot over, as he makes his way over to the threshold of the door where the 3 of you are standing, and he's like vacuuming around your feet. Oh, no, you want to step to the side here. Oh, no. Is it okay, ladies, if I go into your room?
Yeah, that's fine. Barnacle Bill, how are you enjoying your job here at on the Alumnia's Breath?
I'm living the dream. As he goes in, and he's like, why is there so much hair in here? As he's just vacuuming up the long
I
hairs.
have a question for you.
Ah, yeah, what can I do for you?
Did anyone approach the boat today?
No rapscallions have made their way this direction. If they were, I would have
Okay.
chased them off.
Well, there's someone I potentially offered a place on the boat, so please don't chase him off.
Well, that's awkward.
Wait, Zil, you offered someone a position. Who is this?
Have I told you guys about my plan with befriending the orphans?
No.
Okay. I'm like, I don't remember if I mentioned it even slightly. So, you know how I've been taking time to myself the past couple days?
Oh, yes, I saw you're just reflecting on your life and the adventure so far.
No. Yuki, do you remember how you found me?
Getting crisped by a flying demonic dragon thing? Yes. I do remember
yes. But do you remember my connection to Helix?
that. That you are street rat. Da-na-na. Da-na-na.
Yes. I went to find the street rats of Folden Rock. The orphans,
Oh,
the
did you
forgotten,
find
the
any?
overlooked. I did. One named Akalik. Thank you. One named Akalik. he has an interesting past. They're tough to trust. They're slow to trust, slow to be helpful. But they help me with some information. I've got a couple leads,
Oh, so you got in with them.
and he
That's Arzil.
felt
Gives him a punch on the shoulder.
ignored and cast out from society, and I know the feeling. So I said, well, if ever wants a place, he can come to our boat. I told him to talk to Barnacle Bill. I feel like he'd be the most welcoming of our crew for someone who's a little malformed. He's got
Still, that doesn't sound like proper vetting.
Trust me on this one, Bill. Trust me on this one. Wait, was that Luke Solly or
Yeah,
Barnacle
that was
Bill?
Luxalia.
That was Mickey Mouse. That's what that was. That was Waffle.
You whispering in your
Luke
ear.
Solly, I know. This group has been really good for me. Trust me, please, for this one.
Are you gonna pay him?
I did offer him a pay.
Does he make more than Buffalo Bill?
No, I think I offered him. I think I offered him the same as Barnacle Bill. I don't remember. I think I offered him the same as Barnacle Bill.
Hold up! I'm a veteran of these seas.
How much are we paying you again, Barnacle Bill?
Hold on.
Hold on, I got it.
got
It's 1.5 EC a day.
I make 1.5 EC per day.
Oh, I thought you said you enjoyed this, and you said that you'd want to be nothing more in your life than just be part of the ship, right?
Yeah, but I got living expenses that I have to make.
Well, you know.
I
might as well be part of the ship. That's right, Zil.
Yes, but anyway, the more I hope he shows up. I hope we can give him honest work. But the more important part of this day, he gave me a better lead at the Soot and Ash.
Oh yeah,
the
the
Soot and
place where
Ash is a
Belvin's nothing
front
to.
for Rollo Beaumont, and he gave me a way to actually contact him. Well, get closer to him, and I know he's got a past.
Do that.
Do you, Yuki? Was it not you who was first to give Duluth a chance?
I mean, it was, but everything I hear about Rollo Beaumont is that he is the reason for all the issues here on Folden Rock. Are you sure that we can trust this orphan if he's got it in with Rollo?
Talking to this orphan. Yes, Rollo has a past, and a dark one at that, but so do I. So does Balbin.
That's true.
So did
I mean,
Duluth. I promised this orphan that we'd give Beaumont a chance to repent. It sounds like he takes care of all the outcasts here. And yes, maybe he does so a little underhandedly, and that could be better. But he is a father to many here.
If I've learned anything in my time, and especially recently, I find at least creatures of Alomnia, there's still always redemption in them. I mean, I don't think he's a demon of sorts, so I'm willing to trust you, Zil. I mean, you've earned our trust here, and I know you wouldn't willingly lead us into danger, so would you like us to come with you to this meeting, or is this something that you have to do by yourself?
I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm going to get into. I don't see any reason that the code wouldn't work for a group rather than an individual.
Well, if it does come to that, we'll let you take the lead, since you seem to know a lot more about this than the rest of us.
I don't know. It's not necessarily what I know. It's more what you all have shown me. First towards myself, but mostly towards Duluth. And his compatriots. At least when we left, he's an upstanding member of Decay Town now. Yeah, he's repaying a debt.
And he did help us get into the fortress itself, and he did actually risk his own life for the sake of us.
I think
I guess you're
Beaumont
right.
is the same.
Well, I guess you will never know unless we actually meet him, right?
Yeah, so all I promised was a chance. And I did say I can't speak for my whole group, but I think I said that.
Mm.
So hopefully Beaumont can help us.
I hope so. It seems like we've gotten a lot of small tidbits of information, but nothing that's coming to any fruition of any sort. So I can't see a reason why we shouldn't act on this rare piece or this rare opportunity to do so.
I mean, at this point, I think the Soot and Ash is closed.
Yeah,
Is
so
it
maybe in the
closed?
morning.
Would we know?
However, at this point, it's probably got to be like 9 p.m., right, Kyle?
Yeah, something
Or
like that.
something?
Would we have any idea if it's actually closed or not?
I mean, Lowtown seems to be happening all hours of the day, but it's difficult to tell. I don't think you've been in that area during that time. I think you usually tend to retire pretty early.
I think we have other priorities at the pressing moment, just tracking down Belbin, Thordain, and Princess Mila.
Belbin will be fine.
Well, maybe so, but I worry more for the princess. I know
But
Thordain and Belbin can hold themselves, but
let's go find the princess.
all right. So can we go double check a few places?
Yeah, so where do you want to check first?
I know
Start
Yuki
at the
wanted to
temple?
go here. Did we want to split up, or did we want to do it together?
Well, we saw how splitting up went last time. You guys lit a boat on fire.
That's true. All right, let's stay together as best we can. So we want to check. I mean, this is my idea, Max. Let me know if you want to do anything different or any idea. Just go over here since I don't know what's over here, and it'd just be interesting to kind of just see what's over there. Maybe stop by a couple of places we already have. So the tavern that's down here by the dock district.
Also, Kyle, the map's a little bit off center. It needs to move a little right.
But then also this little bar here, we did stop by with Princess Mila. I can't see her going to stay in a place unsavory, and those are like the two least unsavory places that we've been to, unless she's been captured as well. So, what do you think? Maybe save this place for last, because this.
I think so.
Okay, so do you want to just go over here, just double check this area, and then over here? Because again, we've also keep in mind, Luxalia and Yuki have also been like kind of the center of attention for all the nonsense that's going on here. So
yeah,
skulking around and looking isn't necessarily going to be all that. More people's eyes will be on us than that, you know. So okay, so do you want to start here at 7? What's 7 again? 7. The Salted Anchor Inn. Yeah.
So the Salted Anchor was where you were originally appointed to by
delicious coffee.
No. That is the what is it called?
This one, the 21.
The one right.
The
up in
Crooked
front of it.
Lantern.
This one right here.
Oh, that one.
The
we could check both.
The Gilded Mast.
Yeah, we could check both. They're right next to each other, so.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go first? Gilded Mast or the Salted Anchor?
Gilded Mast.
Gilded Mast.
Yeah, let's start at the Gilded Mast.
Okay. You make your way into, or you walk through the port district, and you can tell that there's still a hint of the smoke in the air, but the fire's gone out, and things seem to have returned back to normal. However, you notice that there is a much higher security presence down in this general area as you walk towards the port district. You look around the kind of the familiar place, and the Gilded Mast is open, and you can tell that this is the time of day where it's really started to be buzzing. You see that there's all kinds of joyous noise coming out from within, and many people laughing, speaking, and chatting as there seems to be some kind of a performance that is going on in there too. You can see that there is a couple of musicians that are up on stage playing all kinds of music and whatnot to a joyous crowd.
Perfect. Well, we'll walk in and trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, just kind of scan the place. Yuki will go down and sit by the bar if she can. And
Inconspicuous with the great axe and full armor.
Well,
But yes.
you know, Silver Draken are never inconspicuous either, so it's all good. So just sit down and who's the bartender again? What's his name? Jonas, and say, Jonas, how's it been, buddy?
How's it been for you? You look like you are enjoying yourselves quite a bit. Where's the rest of your crew?
Oh, have you not seen them? We were actually looking for them ourselves. Did you see the
Question:
the
is
Glyven fellow
Luxalia
we
with you
came
guys?
She is, yeah.
Okay.
Is the Glyven fellow that we were with here the elf? What about the younger one? What about the other female?
Haven't seen any of y'all since yesterday.
I see. Did you have any news of potential ongoings of the general area since yesterday? Anything new to report? Of interest? Of the gossip of sorts?
Well, as you can see, as he points up to the stage, Rita, she is actually a new musician that just parked her boat here this evening. Don't you agree? She plays quite well. You were a fan of music, isn't that right, Yuki?
Do I know Rita?
No, you don't know Rita.
Has word of Rita reached the ears of Yuki Mistletoe?
Make a knowledge skill check at despair.
That's fair. 8.
With a name like Rita, it's no Beyonce, but it's there could be a lot of Ritas, so maybe, but
All right.
she plays pretty good. She plays the fiddle pretty well.
Oh. And what is she? Like, is she a Draken? Is
She's
she
a
human, okay.
human.
Oh, why, it is quite nice. Maybe when we have some time a little bit later. How long will they be playing till?
Well, let's see. It's currently right now at this point it's about 9:30 at night. Their set goes until about 11 p.m. tonight.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. We were just checking to see if any of our party members are here. Maybe once we gather, we can come back for the final encore.
Absolutely. I would get your seats as soon as possible. This place seems to be filling in. By the way, did you hear about the fire earlier today?
There was a fire?
Everybody's talking about it. Where have you been? Under a rock?
Well, depends on what you mean by under a rock.
He
We're
looks
on our ship.
confused at you.
We're on the boat.
Does a plank count as a rock?
No.
Then no, I was not under a rock. I was under a plank.
I see. How's business going? Are you trading nicely?
Zil just kind of does this with his new armor on. Yeah.
That looks nice. Did you purchase that recently?
I did. I traded my armor I made myself for it.
Oh, interesting. And he examines it, he's like, I don't know much about gear of war, but this looks pretty. Looks impressive. It adorns you quite well, my fellow Zul.
Thank you. Yes, it's been a delightful trip here to your humble island.
Yeah, we explored Hightown today. It was quite interesting. We went to the sacrifice that happened at the temple earlier as well.
Oh, did you now? You're the religious type, aren't you?
Well,
Looks all he
for
is.
the most part.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Yeah, we like to
She does
maintain.
her best to pull us up.
Yeah, she keeps us in check. You know, sometimes. when you're out
Personally,
and doing
Jonas, I
worldly
think
things-
everybody here needs to go. If we had standing room only in the temple, I still wouldn't be happy.
How full of a temple would it need to be for you to be happy, Luxalia?
That's a good question. Pretty full.
good. It was quite nice though. It's been a while since I've been to that. The Order of Amandalius, who runs it,
Oh,
man, they're quite orthodox, aren't they?
Aye, they are indeed, and they're good people. I'm not the temple going type, but every Sunday they're out on the streets giving away food to the orphan children that are around, those who are in need of it. Lowtown, he's a little the high priest there. High priest, I think it's Godfried is what they call him. He's
yes, good
quite-
men, good men.
quite well known in Lowtown.
I just love the smell of the incense in there. It just brings me back. Do you know of the best places to maybe acquire such things?
Incense. Soot and Ash might be the best place to go. It's the largest candle supplier here and aromatics, that is, here on the island.
Hours.
What are their
Yeah, when
hours?
do they-
Oh,
when do they
they're open quite late. Rumor has it that many people go in and out throughout the night. They tend to be closed in the very late evening and early mornings.
Good to know. Well, maybe we'll stop by. I am very curious about that because, man, it would make our ship smell so much better with Barnacle Bill and his BO. I'll tell ya.
Tell me about it. I've sailed a time or
So
two,
just
and
kind of.
they really need to build showers on ships. I'm telling you.
That is true. That is true. Well,
Explain to me what a shower is.
it's okay. You remember when we went to the onsen on Tokai Town? We had to fight the monkeys.
Oh, that was amazing.
It's like
The
that, except it
non-canon
comes from the
monkeys.
sky. It comes from the sky instead of the ground. Yeah, I'll explain it later. It's kind of like rain, but like you can control it. Anyways, we will be back, sir. If you do happen to see any of our companions by the time we make it back, please let us know when we do arrive.
Absolutely. I'll be sure, if I don't see you anytime soon, I'll be sure to dispatch a note to Lomnia's Breath.
Oh, thank you.
What spot are you docked at the docks?
You know the long curly dock? We're the first spot there.
First spot there. Oh, you're dock number 3. Got it.
Yeah, there we go. 3.
Are we actually dock number 3?
I don't know. We're right here.
Okay.
Right there. Okay, well, we'll be making our way next door just to look for our companions, but we appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Again, don't miss the
Farewell.
performance. They seem to be drawn in the crowds tonight.
Oh, good. That's what we like to hear.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll make our way to 7. So the Salted Anchor Inn.
Perfect. So as you head over to the Salted Anchor, it's much quieter. Actually, it's a little bit more serene and higher fashion as far as decor. There's actually wallpaper that's been put up. It's not quite like a manor fancy, and it's not quite as fancy as the inn in Helix. But for a port town, this is pretty welcoming. You can smell that there's kind of this stale scent of like cigarettes and tobacco that's in the air. However, you see that there is somebody that is up at the front of the desk there, basically looking at you, smiling, and says, welcome in. What can I do for you?
We were wondering if any of our party members checked in for tonight.
Party members. What would they look like?
Well, the ones we're looking for, it's one man who's a Glyven fellow. He's got gray, scruffy hair. Probably not wearing a shirt if he's come in.
That would be quite
another-
noticeable. Haven't seen any fellows with that description.
Well, then I'm assuming you haven't seen one of our other companions. Tall elf from the Woodland Realm. He's very handsome, some say. He's got a very philanthropic aura about him.
Speaking of which, he strokes his chin. He said he's a woodland elf. Is that correct?
Oh, I think so. I think, right, Dill? He's Woodland.
Does Zil know anything about elves?
Probably very little. Outside of like what you know of.
No, he rolled a nat 1. He has no clue. He's a little darker?
Yeah, I guess so. He might not necessarily look like one, but he is a wood elf, I believe. He's from Rostrukal, I think.
There were a company of 3 elves that did check into a room earlier this evening.
Well, wouldn't it be 3 of them? Yeah, wouldn't it be 3 of them? Were they merchants? I mean, I don't want to pry. Obviously, they're your tenants.
No, merchants they weren't. There was one that kind of fits your description, one that was a little bit taller, darker skin complexion, one that was much shorter. She seemed to be of the fashion face sort.
Oh, we are looking for a fashion fae.
We are.
Did she give a name?
No, she seemed a little out of it.
Do you mind if we check in on that? I think that
the man that was leading the 2 of them were, well, it was the first time that I had seen him for quite some time. He's a man that goes by the name, as I look on my names list. He's a man that goes by the name Marcel.
Do you mind if you tell us where the room is? We just want to check, because that does match the description of our friend. However, she shouldn't be with 2 other elves, per se.
Well, that is quite concerning. Tell me, who are you?
Ah, yes, I am, my name is Mistletoe Yuki. I am with the Alomnia's Breath ship that has docked at the port. We've been here for about 2 days. Typically, we stay on the ship, which is why it was strange, like, that our party member hadn't made it back for the night. And so we were concerned about her, and we were looking around for her, as well as our other 2 companions, which doesn't seem like have made it here. Maybe our other companion is there, being a wood elf of sorts. I don't know. Do you mind if we just?
My name is Master Einbert, and if you stay here, I can go.
Yes.
I can go take a look, to see if they're still in,
Her
or
name-
if they're out on the town.
Her name is Mila. So if you use the name Mila, if she responds to it, again, just make sure that she's okay. If she doesn't respond at all to the Mila, then still let us know either way. And please, once you see her again, please give us a vivid description and see if it does match.
Of course. If you mistresses and master would stay here, we have a seated area. If you want any kind of drinks, and he points over to basically like chilled water that is like put in like basically like a vase. We have some water, fresh, clean water, not sea water like they serve next door.
I'm gonna whisper over. Yuki's gonna whisper over to Luxali and say, "Hey, Luxali, do you mind if you just go maybe keep a perimeter just in case of any potential escapees of sorts?"
Yes, I could do that.
Okay. I think it would make it so that if they are here, they don't get away. So, what's his name again, by the way? Reinbert? Freinbert?
Master Einbert.
Okay.
And he disappears into a long hallway, and he walks a few paces down and then begins to climb the stairs that goes up to the upper rooms. And you're unable to hear anything at this point. About 5 or 6 minutes pass as he comes back downstairs, and he says, looks like our guests have dipped out for the evening.
Oh, did they happen to say where they would be going?
No, not that I heard of. It's not my duty to keep track of the comings and goings of this place, only to make sure that their rooms are shipshape.
I understand.
From what I do remember, many of our guests did depart somewhere in the early evening. I would say around 6 or 7 p.m. But since then, it's been pretty quiet around here.
What did the gentleman that you say was with our companion look like?
Which one? The
So we know
taller
the one that the other one.
Yes, Marcel.
Yeah.
Yes, Marcel. He is a well, most of his business that he conducts tends to be in Hightown. If anything, at the Regal Peacock is where he does most of his business. He is an escort of sorts.
I'm looking at the map.
Regal Peacock's gonna be right here.
Okay. That's okay. That sounds interesting. Do they go to and fro, even though he lives here? Seems kind of strange that they'd be coming to stay at the inn if he's a resident here. Wouldn't you think?
Well, he, as I had mentioned, he is an escort, and his escort duties do require him to stay places at for certain hours of the day. He is a paying customer. It's not up to me to ask questions about what his
fine.
ongoings
That's fine.
are.
Well, good to know. Thank you for that information. We will definitely check back. Actually, and Yuki, hold on a minute. Yuki goes outside and like calls Luxalia back in and asks Luxalia if she can wait here and see if they do actually come back.
Yeah, I think I could do that. You said they had fresh water, right?
Yes, we
Is
did.
that right? Is that right, Einbert? Sir Einbert?
That is correct indeed. Well, I'll pour myself a glass, and I will enjoy this here. Do you have any tea? And he's like, for a cost, absolutely. And with that, what do you want to do? So, Luxalia's hunkering down at the salted anchor.
Zil, do you want to go check out the marketplace down here quickly?
Let's do that. That sounds very good.
So I doubt she'd be in the carpentry.
Or should we start at the temple?
Oh, we can't. Unfortunately, what time does the gate between the temple close?
6 p.m.
Okay, so we're not able to get up to the temple, unfortunately, right now. But do you want to go check
Helix? All these rules.
I know. I agree. This is just too tedious, isn't it, Zil?
Really
Well,
is.
let's check the Sea Bounty marketplace, and then let's go to where we have gotten a drink before. Since we didn't see them here, and they seem to be going out for a night on the town, let's check out the Crooked Lantern as well. I don't know if you were with us, Zil, when we had visited there, but Luxalia and I have been there, so we do know
Okay.
the
We can
owner.
go.
So, well, first let's go to the number 2, Sea Bounty's marketplace.
As you make your way into the marketplace, you can see that there are a few stalls that are open, but the vast majority of them seem to be closed. As far as regular hours that are here, it tends to be between the hours of 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Again, there are a few that are kind of closing down, but there aren't a ton of people that are here.
Yuki is going to go up to one of the vendors and ask, "Hey, excuse me, are you closing down at the moment?"
A female elf. She looks to you and she says, "Yes, we are. What can I do for you?"
Oh, no problem. I was just wondering, we're looking for our companion. She's yay tall and gives like a kind of a detail about it. I guess she was last spotted with 2 strange looking elves, and we're concerned about her. Did you see them walking about?
I see many people that walk about, particularly Feshin Fey elves. What kind of elves were they?
He was a fashion fair.
She's a Feshin Fey. One seemed, I guess, from the description we got, was a wood elf, and another is a elf named Marcel. If that rings a bell.
Marcel. Yes, he works at the Regal Peacock.
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
But did you see them today at any points, or out today?
I did see Marcel earlier. He was over there, and he points to another stall that is already closed. He was purchasing some things for the day, tools of the trade. He purchased some rope. He also was able to purchase some cloth over there for what I can only assume was his for his own attire. He's quite flamboyant, but that's what people pay him for.
Does he seem to be trustworthy?
Depends how much you're willing to pay to keep his trust.
Good to know. Okay. Well, thank you for your time, and Yuki will hand over one one Eeas to her for the information.
No. This isn't necessary.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, if in your time that you're packing up, see them, one of our companions is over at the inn. If you could at some point alert her, I know she'd be willing to pay you for your time, as well.
I'll keep that in mind. If you have any, if you want to do any business at some time in the future, I specialize in arrows and fletching.
Oh,
we have a
companion.
friend.
Yeah. Exactly, Zoe. You and I, same mind.
Yes.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, thank you so much. Well, off we go, and maybe we meet again in the near future.
Until we meet again.
Where were we going, Zill? 21? The
Sorry,
Crooked
yeah.
Lantern? Okay, Crooked Lantern.
All right.
Make our way down there.
As you make your way into Lowtown, much of the crowd that was there earlier has dispersed, and it feels pretty empty comparatively. But it's quite similar to Lowtown. However, at this point, it started to rain slightly. A little bit of drizzle has begun to soak the town to a degree. It's a nice warm rain that slowly throughout the night begins to grow heavier and colder.
Okay.
Hmm.
Good to know. We'll draw her hood.
Yeah,
She
Zil
doesn't
puts
get
his
too
hood
wet.
up.
Okay.
He's no stranger to rain.
He's just basically Strider. That's what I'm picturing. Striding through the town.
I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered.
I don't like it too much, but it can't be helped, I guess. And we make our way.
Doesn't it just turn to snow around you?
Does it? I actually never noticed that. Does it? I don't think it gets that cold around
Yeah,
me. No.
it's just it's
nice
like
AC.
a little bit icy, slight cool breeze, but it's not like
it's good.
freezing the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do we see anything when we walk in?
So as you look into the Crooked Lantern, it is definitely not as crowded as the Gilded Mass. There's no entertainment or anything, but there are more people here than there were when you had visited earlier the day before. And you see a very familiar face at the back behind the counter. The kind of these lazy eyes of Corbin Duval look up at you and says, "Ah, welcome."
Master Duval, we're happy to see you again. This is our companion Zill. I don't think you made his acquaintance the last time we popped in
Good
here.
to meet you, sir.
What you drinking today?
What you pouring today?
He smiles a little bit, and he goes over and he pulls out a bottle of what looks to be some kind of whiskey. And he says, this is just fresh off the boat this morning. Comes all the way from the Bash Steppe, all the way from Urudum.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually close to by my places, to where I'm from.
No, you don't say.
Yeah, pour me a glass if you don't mind as well.
I will take one.
3 EC a cup.
And Yuki will hand over EC. Dang, that's freaking pricey stuff. That's fine. We'll hand over 3 EC for her. For me, for Yuki, it is. She's freaking poor.
How much money do you have?
Not much. She's been saving a little bit. 170. That's it, though.
170 EC?
Yeah.
No comment.
I know. She's poor. She's poor considering. But she'll do it, and she'll sit down at the bar, right by him.
And he grabs these like small little glasses, kind of tumblers, and he pours it only about 2 or 3 inches deep. And he says, "Drink up. There's plenty of more where that comes from. Or at least do so before these vagabonds buy up the rest of it."
Well, thank you for your kindness. Speaking of which, have you seen our other companion that we were in here with the other day? Not the pointy-eared one, but the more quiet and meek one, the elf, who's with us. Has she walked in today?
Oh, the child you brought in here. I always thought that was
yes.
quite strange.
Yeah.
How recently?
Well, as of today, she was with us through midday, but then we happened to get separated, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And we hear reports of her being with 2 other elves, one named Marcel, who we were looking for. I know he works at the Gilded Peacock, the
Regal Peacock.
The Regal Peacock. The Regal Peacock, but they're spotted down in Market Town, and we just happen to be looking out for her. That's a bit odd, you know?
He thinks for a moment as he steps back and he crosses his arms and he begins tapping his forehead and he's like, my memory seems to be a bit foggy. Perhaps, as he looks to you, it could be jogged somehow.
Yeah, Yuki
Really?
hands over another No, Zil, calm down. He did this with us last time too. We appreciate it, and we'll hand over an EP.
Oh, my memory seems to be working perfectly. I did, in fact, see her earlier this evening. She was walking, as I had mentioned, with two individuals. Yes, one was a taller, darker elf, but the other one was a local here, actually. And he says, "What was his name? What was his name?" Ah, Marcel.
Oh yes, Marcel, we know the name. Mm-hmm.
The three of them were walking down towards the port district, and I did see them again a little later this evening. Marcel came in for a drink before he said that he was making his way back up to Hightown at the Regal Peacock.
Has there been any? Did he say anything about his news and his business? And she hands over another EC.
Oh. Well, his business. He's in the business of entertainment, let's just say. I thought it was quite odd that he had a child with him, considering his line of work, but, it's not my place to question it.
So he didn't mention anything about what he was doing with this child and with our companion and this other elf.
I can only assume if he was heading back to work with the Regal Peacock that they would be renting a private room and, providing entertainment. Your companion, however, did seem not completely in her sort. She seemed a little bit less smiley than when I saw her earlier in the evening.
Oh?
So would he have made it back to Hightown before the end of the night?
Well, he does work at Hightown, meaning he has the proper documentation to come and go as he pleases.
Well, as in, I know the gates closed during that time, and is it required for him to make his way back before
With
the
that-
gates closed?
As long as he has documentation, he can make his way between the Hightown and Lowtown as easily as possible.
With that documentation, can you bring a guest?
Depends on who you are.
Is he a man of report?
Let's just say he's well respected and well noted around the higher ups in Hightown. He's popular.
Would you happen to know anyone else who would know any information about where to find him around these parts during this time of day? Because we are looking for him, and she hands over another EC.
My lips feel quite loose tonight. As he leans in and he begins to whisper. And he begins to whisper and he says, "Well, if I were a betting man, I would say he is either at the Regal Peacock in bay number 4. In order to approach him, you need only ask for the flamboyant elf. That's how he goes by in this area. And with the proper amount of coin, he will see you immediately."
Okay. Well, good to know. What was the other place you said that he would potentially be?
Well, he is one who does enjoy his walks around the park. If you're unfamiliar, so number 4 in Hightown is what is that? Hightown number not 4. This one right here. The plaza.
41. Okay.
41.
Yeah, Crest Hill Park. Okay.
Yes, Crest Hill Park. He does tend to wander in the evenings there.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your.
Listen here, his company does not come cheap. If you go seeking a thrill or even just company, you better have a heavy coin purse.
Is there any way we can get into Hightown without having that proper documentation at this time of night? If we did want to get our way in.
Sure, there's plenty of ways if you're willing to go above the law.
Any legal ways first?
No.
Okay.
Do you think the Soot and Ash could help us out with this predicament?
What would a candle store have to do with the dealings of the Regal Peacock?
Not the regal peacock, but just getting us through the gates.
Best find the guard's favorite candle scent.
Mm. Okay.
He looks to you and he eyes you. I'm gonna have you make a wisdom skill check for me, Zil.
Oh my gosh.
Dirty 16.
There are ways to make him. There are ways to have him talk.
Zil.
This
the
is
one.
this has been quite obvious.
Zil. Yuki's poor. She'll nudge him, pop him in the ribs. My purse can't afford this.
I'm familiar with how you talk. Where
Are
I'm
you?
from, information has a different price. And
What are you doing?
he just shows his belt of axes.
Oh my god.
Make an influence skill check for me.
And as this is happening, Yuki's just gonna kind of roll her eyes and hand him another 2 to
10.
see.
10. All right. No need for violence. Your companion is doing more than enough, and she takes the coin and he puts it
So just
into
kind of
his coin purse. And at this
Face
point,
palm.
you see there are a few people that are eyeing you at this point, and one of them actually has stood up from the table with his hand on his sword, and Corbin Duval, he goes, no, have a seat, we're fine. Ask again.
Would the slit and ash be helpful in getting us into Hightown?
Probably the best place that I can think of. That is those who have it in with the owner. He's not an easy person to crack the code for.
Okay.
We appreciate the information. And,
Thank you for your help.
and we'll definitely see you before we leave again. We
Good.
appreciate you, Duval.
Perhaps we'll have something else from, who knows, even the Refinium Peaks to fit your fancy. Deep pockets go a long way here.
And Yuki hands over one more EC and says, if you do happen to see them again,
oh my goodness, this is why
our
you're poor.
I know, but it's getting us the
Yuki.
information we need. It's not philanthropy, it's extortion. Yuki is saying,
We can
one of
extort them.
our long-eared companion is over at the Salted Anchor. If you could somehow send word to her, we would appreciate that.
How did you enjoy your drinks? As he takes the cloth and begins to start cleaning.
Quite tasty.
How did I enjoy the drink?
Oh, well, how did you enjoy
Yuki's
the
not
drink?
a drinker. It was spicy.
Someone who's not familiar with her liquor. That's okay. That makes sense. It might grow on you. We'll see.
It just hit the spot. Thank you much.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Duval. And we'll leave. We'll head Soot and Ash, Zil. Is that where we're going? At this point?
All roads seem to point that way.
Or do you want to head to the Adventurers Guild first at 25?
I have a feeling. What time is it?
Yeah. Like 10-ish?
Yeah, it's about 10:30.
Okay. Nothing sketchy on Zill's radar yet?
Nope.
Wouldn't they be in the town?
Technically, But the people, like, for example, people who are cultists, they're not always exuding the energy. It's only if they're
Okay.
like actually actively using void.
That makes sense.
Or, for example, if there's like, because as we know, creatures from the void can only be present if there is the presence of void flow. And so you would be aware to that if there was like a voiding creature within the area. However, people who are like manipulators of it, unless they're actively calling upon it and manipulating, you wouldn't be able to detect anything.
Makes sense. Okay, I understand.
You know what? Maybe we should stop by and just see if there's any quick information we can get from the Adventurers Guild. We won't stay long, but I think
I don't want to get caught up.
we won't get caught up. But I have some ways to be able to help us in this endeavor. But I don't necessarily want to do it in the middle of the street, if that makes sense.
I guess.
I feel like the Adventurers Guild is as good of a place as any for us to do that.
Are you sure?
just
If we're
in case.
trying to find it, we should probably go the shortest route.
We should, but this will help us. It's a skill that I have because I'm Bard.
Okay.
Yeah, it will just stop and ask quickly, and I'll perform what I need to perform, and we will get going. Is that okay?
I guess.
Okay. All right. We'll quickly head on over to the Adventurers Guild then, I guess.
All right, you pass through the streets and eventually make your way into the Dented Helm Adventurers Guild. And as you do so, Thaddeus, he calls from behind the counter and is like, "Well, if it isn't the adventurers of the hour," and he begins clapping. "Setting fire to the town!" You're lucky your name's not on this board.
What are you talking about? Yuki looks at him.
You were found
batting her eyes.
You were found at the scene of a crime that hasn't been, well, quite as obvious for at least since the establishment of this town.
We were captured, for Pete's sake. We did nothing of the sorts.
Now, I'm not here to berate you about it. All I have to say is I'm happy you're alive.
Thank you, I guess.
What can I do for you?
Well, we've been looking for our other smaller companion, if you've seen her tonight. As Yuki begins to take out her harp and like tune it and prepare it.
Can't say that I have. It's been pretty quiet around here today. Not too many of our regulars have showed up, and as you can see, it seems that our hunt board is only getting more and more full.
I understand that. Well, oh man, what's his name off the top of my head?
Which one?
The guy who's the fisherman.
Pietrick.
Is Pietrick here by any chance, or is he gone for today?
He's gone for today. He's back with his family.
I see. Well, I think that's all we need for today. If you don't mind me, I'm going to make a small performance here in the corner for me and my companion.
Feel free. Space is yours.
And sorry, I'm double checking the what it is. I think it's Saga Preparation. I know. Chill. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. I'm gonna sit down and play one of my learned songs that I know. Song of Preparation. So basically, anyone within a earshot, and I play this song, everyone makes a DC 10 Charisma Survival check. For each success, you and your company gains 1d4 preparation dice to use on any dice rolls in your upcoming combat encounter. So,
DC 10, you say?
Survival.
Well,
Charisma.
survival check. So I think you got
I
pretty
know.
good.
I rolled the 9.
Like total.
I have really good charisma, and I rolled a 9.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, luckily Yuki rolled a natural 16, so we get, at least Yuki gets the 1d4.
Well, no. So
Dice.
it's for the entire party. So the entire party.
So we
can
each
use
get
it.
one before.
There you go.
So one for the entire party to be able to use. So an additional D4 to use on any roll.
To each
Perfect.
person or one person in the party?
Like each person that succeeds adds one
Okay.
preparation
So
dice
only
for
one.
the party. So one dice that anybody can use.
Gotcha.
What did the guild guy get?
Oh, you want him to roll?
Yeah, why not? He's in earshot.
That's true. He got a 8.
Okay,
I got a
nothing.
Freaking 6 charisma, and I roll a 3.
It's fine. It's all good. Okay, well,
Zill's
let's
back,
make our
baby.
way-
Crappy
let's make our-
rolls.
Let's make
Get a
our way
hot
to
streak for a
the-
couple weeks.
That's true.
Shall we
Okay,
go
that's
to the
like
Soot and
that's a.
Ash?
Yes, let's make haste.
Okay. About time.
As you
Sorry,
walk
I didn't mean to upset you.
As you walk through the streets, you find your way over to the front of Soot and Ash. It's a relatively well-kept establishment, and you can see that there is a candle that is like on the signboard. There's a candle that says Soot and Ash, and there's like a flame, like a lit candle, essentially on it. And as you walk in, you can see that there is nobody in there at all. Except there are a few candles that are lit around the room. You can see on some of the shelves there are some example scents. There are some oils and whatnot to be able to sniff. And you can see that there is a staircase that does go upstairs, disappearing behind a door. And as you come in, there's a soft bell that chimes. And you can hear someone slowly getting up from the back room and making their way forward. And you see the face of a very long-faced man. And he looks to you and he says, "Welcome to Soot and Ash. What can I do for you?"
Yuki kind of just
We-
gives him a gesture forward and will start smelling the candles on the side.
We were sent by a friend.
Ah. Have I done business with this friend?
I believe so.
Well, what business do you have?
Zill is panicking. He's not sure how to get them to say the first part. I know you're known for your candles, but do you sell any clocks?
He looks up at the clock on the wall, and he smiles at you, and he looks to Yuki, the companion. I'm gonna have you make an influence skill check for me.
You got this.
That's an 18.
There you go.
Well, you know what they say, the ashen clock does strike twice a day.
So I've heard. Do you have a match?
He leans down behind the table, and you hear as he pulls a lever. And right in front of the counter, there's basically a draw door that slowly basically lifts, and you can see that there is a staircase that leads down into a dimly lit basically hallway. And he says, "Give Rolo Beaumont my best regards."
Thank you much.
And
Yuki
Yeah,
gives him a
downstairs.
bow. And
He
bows
bows.
and
quickly now, before we have any more guests.
down we go. Oh my! What are we doing? What are we doing?
As you vanish beneath the floor, you hear a creak as the lever's pulled again, and the hatch is basically sealed shut. And you find yourself in a long hallway, a short stairwell, but long hallway. It seems to be decently wallpapered on either side, and there are candelabras that are mounted to the wall that go down throughout. You go straight for a little bit, and you take a right before you find yourself with another door. This door has basically, it's just a typical wooden door, but there is like a face hole that is able to open and shut. from the other side.
All right, knock on the door.
Just remember, and Yuki will whisper to Zil, just remember, don't use his actual name.
And as the door swings open, you see the face of a man who is smoking. He has a hood over his head, and you can see that he has large bags under his eyes. You can see that there's also basically like a scarf, like a bandit-looking scarf that he has pulled down, and he says, "Haven't seen you before. What business do you have?"
We're sent by a mutual friend. Told you can help.
Clearly you've had password to come down here. Who do you wish to speak with?
The master of the house.
Some say, Yuki pipes in, the boss.
Fortunately, he's not busy at the moment. And you hear a click, and the door swings wide open. The man is sitting on a tall stool as he's smoking his pipe, and he's sitting across a table from another individual. This person is a lady, and she is basically what it looks like there's coin on the table, and she's counting it. And she says, looks like some new fresh meat. Enjoy the boss's company. As she takes her glass up and she raises it to you and she smiles.
Do I recognize her?
Did I recognize the voice?
Neither of you do. This is
Okay.
a completely different person that you see.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Not Anya's. I'm like, is this Anya's maybe?
I was thinking it was the lady in the freaking bay, you know?
Oh.
Freaking cult lady.
No.
Yeah, either way.
No,
Wonderful.
this lady's kind of dressed in similar kind of like street rat drab to kind of just blend into the people of Lowtown.
Thank you both.
The man,
And,
he points and he says, "The name is Alaric." And he points down a hall. So basically you are, I think it's this one. If not.
Oh my god. Well, what are we gotten ourselves into?
Well, met for luck.
That's
And
so good, though.
I flip an EC to him.
He snatches it out of the air and adds it to a table. Adds it to the table of coinage. And as you make your way in, he points directly to the left. Rolo's sitting in the dining hall just down there.
Does he have a preferred title?
It's the boss to you.
Understood. Walk in.
I'm so nervous. What is this?
As you
What is
knock,
this?
the door opens, and the two of you walk in, and you see that there is a man who opens the door for you and is standing. He is dressed in kind of servant's attire, not like butler attire, but like servant's attire. And he says, "What business do you have with the boss?"
Go ahead,
I've,
Zell.
several items of varying types. Maybe he can help with.
The boss is good at dealing with people's problems, and at that point, you see at the far end of the table, a chair swivels around, and you can see a completely bald-looking individual. Why are you laughing? A completely bald individual, and he seems to be chewing on something, what looks to be the remnants of dinner, maybe like a bone from like the meal. And he looks to you and he puts it down on the table and flicks his fingers, and he says, "New recruits, I have it."
Not quite.
Oh, yet you have the password. How very curious. I'm
Yes.
intrigued.
And Zil just kind of starts at least taking off this much of his armor
Mhm.
and rolls up his sleeve. He's just got Zil is more or less covered in various scars of various sizes and depths. And yes, the brands are visible, but not like well defined. But it's mostly the scars. Like, I understand the business you run. I've lived it. I've sat in your chair. Granted, where I'm from, it was a not quite this grand.
And Yuki kind of turns to Zil and says, Master Zil, are you sure you should be revealing your past to him? I don't know if he deserves to hear it.
This deserves part. I never made it as high as you did. But I know there's one thing we relate on. It's people we care about and watched over. That's what brought us here in the first place. That's hopefully ground of what can become mutual respect. That's what got us this password in the first place. When we came here, we thought you a villain. Thought you the problem. My friends here might still. I'm not speaking for them at the moment. I don't know what's going on in her mind and the other friends we're with.
Well, what has made you
Let's-
change your mind?
I met a ward of yours. A boy that reminded me a lot of myself. A boy that reminded me a lot of those I cared for, where I come from. He spoke very highly of you. He looked up to you and respected you as a caretaker, as a provider. I've heard you've had a shady past.
He laughs and he chuckles to himself, and on his face is a wide smile, and he says, "Well, you could say that."
From my conversation with this boy, I promised him I'd give you a chance.
Give me
Based
a
on
chance.
the look of this place, I don't know how accurate past is to the shady past, but it sounds like some good is coming out of here. And so,
Tell me, Master Zil,
so you've heard of me.
your companion, referred to you as such.
And Yuki
Hmm.
turns to Zil and says, Pardon me for speaking out of line, Master.
It's
I
okay.
did not mean to intrude on the conversation. I am just here as your bodyguard, and after all.
It's okay. Go on.
I am a man of business. I used to be out on the open waters, doing different business.
I've heard.
Some call it pirating, some call it fortune seeking. I'm a treasure hunter. Those days are
And
behind me, though. No longer
I'm a
do I
man of-
seek treasure. I wait for treasure to come to me.
Oh. And I'll tell you this much. All you need to know about me, I'm a man of protection. And I think there we have some common ground. We may not see eye to eye on everything, but I think there we do. And that's why I wanted to come to you. Not as an enemy, undecided as a friend, but at least as a companion of background.
Understand, Master Zil, that trust in my line of work does not come easily.
I'm aware. I'm also aware of how far it can go.
Are you also aware of how placing your trust in the wrong people can set everything and everyone's lives up in flame?
Yes. I don't know how much bigger our flames can get.
As long as those who see that flame don't come sniffing me out. Which begs the question, what business do you have with me? I maybe have a bit more of understanding of who you are, but I am a man of business. I am a man who, for lack of a better term, does what he needs to survive. But
Well,
I'm also a collector.
we have several things of business. Where do you want me to start? With urgency or importance?
I think those are two synonyms for the same thing, my fellow.
Not in this case.
Regale me.
Where do you want me to start?
Where do you think I should start, from the beginning, or? I've got time. I've got nothing but time.
Okay. What brought us here in the first place? I hope the honesty I'm about to give you is of some value.
Depends on the nature of what the honesty is.
And I turned to Yuki without saying her name. It's like, hope you can forgive me. How familiar are you with the pillars?
Pillars. Talk about tenants? Are you talking about physical pillars, as he points to the room? Pillars.
Earth, fire, water, air. Those pillars.
The mythical, unrelenting energy that is responsible for the creation of the world in which we live. Yes,
I can
I've
tell
heard
you they
rumor.
are no myth.
Oh.
I can tell you they're in danger. That's what first brought us here. Part of that danger, the Montebelairs can help us with.
Now that is a name that I haven't heard in quite some time.
We've heard that one of the Montebelairs, which name I wrote down somewhere.
Yeah, it
Maybe
is.
I did not write it down.
Give me
One of the Montebelairs.
He interrupts you. Aldrich.
Aldrich is last seen here, on this island. That's what brought us here. We have business with them that relate to the pillars. We've also were informed that capturing you would get their attention. At least, if not their attention, the Horrorgate's attention, who could get us to the Montebelairs.
Capturing
But-
me for what purpose?
You're a wanted man. I'm sure you already knew that. I don't expect that to be news to you.
Yuki looks around and just makes sure that nothing dubious is happening behind
Make a
the scenes.
focus skill check.
14.
Doors are closed on all ends. You can see in this area there are 3 doors. The one that you came through, a door here, and a door at the back. They're all closed, and the only people that are in this room are the 2 of you, the servant, who has now taken his place at the back of the room by this table, and Beaumont. As you do scan the area, this looks to be very clearly nothing more than just a dining room. The only table settings that have been placed out is Rolo's table setting, and you can see that he looks to have been looking over some papers that are on his desk. They look like business contracts of some sort. That's it.
Okay. Like I said, we do need the help of the Montblairs. However you feel about them, we need their help. That is not really a negotiable point. But also, I promised your ward to give you a chance. So at the moment, I don't have an intention of turning you in. Beyond that, in our efforts to find a path to the Montblairs, through the Beaumonts, or however that can go down, whatever the best way forward is, we've uncovered some trouble on this island. And part of that trouble is we've been separated from some of our group.
That is
We
trouble.
think they're in Hightown. We don't have the credentials to get there. That comes to the second point, where we think you can help us. Like I said, there's some promises I made that I intend to keep. To your ward, I did promise that I'd give you a chance. I also promised if and when we garner an audience with the Montblairs, we make them aware of the outcasts in a way that they can hopefully help them. Where I come from, the thing that pulled me out of that situation was I was offered an opportunity of heroism. And I took it. By my friend here and our group we travel with. That got me noticed. And I was able to leverage that for those in my care for an honorable line of work, an honorable life where I don't know if they'll ever lavish in what they have, but they'll never struggle for their needs again. That's what I mean by I'm a protector.
This ward of mine that you met, did he seem to be struggling to you?
It's hard to tell. But what I do know is he considers the way he looks upon himself in the world, he thinks he will never have a place in what some might call proper society again, and I tried to tell him that's not the case. And I offered him a path. There's no expectation. I don't know what you have offered him, but we have a ship that offers honorable work. It might not be glamorous, but it's honorable, it's honest. Him and anyone else who wants a new chance are welcome on that ship. We won't fault them if they don't take it. We're not trying to overstep or poach, but just offer an alternative.
Can Yuki make a quick inside check on him? See how he's receiving this?
Make a wisdom skill check for me.
Saving throw?
A wisdom skill check.
12.
During this whole conversation, he is sitting, he is listening. Based off of what you are seeing in his nature and his demeanor, he doesn't seem to be on edge at all. Almost as if he's acting professionally in this case. As if he is listening out to the terms of a contract, per se.
Has she noticed any sort of like abnormal movements, like if Zill's hit any nerves on him where he suddenly moves uncomfortably or anything, or nothing of the sorts?
Not even in the slightest.
Well, Yuki pipes up and says, "There's one more thing. Pardon me, Master Zill, for speaking out of
Go
turn,
ahead.
but I don't know if you heard about the incident at Foggy Bay today."
Who hasn't heard about that?
Do you happen to know anything about it? At the very least, the dealings that go on down there.
Seems like you know more than most. I'm curious. He looks to Zill and he stands up and he doesn't walk over to you, but pushes his chair in and walks on the other side of the table from you. And he says, it's kind of back and forth as he contemplates and almost thinks out loud. He says, "You're confident, aren't you?"
Me? Is he talking to me or Yuki?
You.
This is not the most difficult situation we found ourselves in.
I personally find that hard to believe. You come into a man's home, a home that is clearly hidden, clearly protected. You come claiming that you are taking away family. You come claiming that you are... well, there is a bounty on me with threats. You seem to put me in a pickle. You also mentioned something about elemental pillars, these not mythical pillars that are in danger. The thing that I am curious about is what any of this has to do with me, and why you are threatening me in my own home about this. You
I meant no threat.
Well, you had mentioned something about Aldreg Monteblair, a man who, well, is the sole reason why I'm in hiding.
I know. When we first got here, our intention was to find you and turn you in to get his attention. My mind has changed on that.
That's good to know.
I mean you no harm at the moment.
I'm not sure what Aldreg Monteblair can do with me. He has no sway on this island. He is simply the ruler of Skyspire Island.
What is the Monteblair's relationship to Folden Rock?
Well, let's just say he is a dealer in arms. Particularly with the Harrogates.
I also know no one really likes talking about them.
Well, the Harrogates, Lord Edmund, has done what he can to make his name known. He is perhaps the most skilled trader in all of Everlast. And with that being the case, he has garnered himself respect, but he's also a busy man. As a man of business myself, I can understand such things. And it behooves me to stay out of his way, as he has nothing to do with my dealings. However, Aldreg Monteblair, he is a dangerous, dangerous man.
What do you mean by that? Yuki pipes in.
In my earlier years, I was a pirate, treasure hunter, seeker of fortune. I sailed these seas under the banner of Jackman Nobbs. We were the most feared crew out of anybody on the open seas. That is, until we one day met our match. An inventor by the name of Aldreg Monteblair had invented a system of projectiles far better, far greater than what we, the most feared pirates in all of the ocean, could even hope to dream of, could even hope to imagine. Captain Nobbs was cocky, and we met them head on. Needless to say, our ship was sunk. Many of us were taken captive. And some of us, well, we did the deals that we could with the businessmen that run Fulden Rock. I was a free man, but under certain limitations. But you see, there are certain things more valuable than gold that I seek. And the second the Harrow Gates saw my eyes turn towards such dealings, I was forced into hiding. There is a price on my head because of the dangers that I seek. Well, at least the presumed dangers of what I do. I merely deal in curious oddities, artifacts, things that are magical in purpose. I don't seek to use them, but only to sell them to the highest bidder. While there are certain curiosities I do keep for myself, I say this. The fact that you are here, I look at it as fate. You come here seeking a man who is supposedly an ocean away, which intrigues me.
So he is not here, Yuki pipes in.
I didn't say that. I said seemingly. No more than 2 weeks ago, there was a sighting. This man, Aldreg Monteblair. I set my people at work, scouring every stone on Fulden Rock in search for this man. I simply want to know his secrets. I hold no ill will, malintent against him. But what was it that sent the greatest ship in all of the oceans to the bottom of the sea? And it was at that moment that all traces of him seemingly vanished. I've kept an eye on the oceans, the docks. I've known of your presence. Just 2 days ago, a ship which I believed to be a pirate's ship
Well,
docked
he
here.
used to be.
And clearly, you have made a name for yourself. As far as my dealings, before I say more, I must know, what is your intentions with this information?
May I, Zil?
Go ahead. I want to clear something up. This is my world. My companion here has given me the lead, but we are friends and equals. I am no master. She has every right to speak as I do. I appreciate her consideration, but I want us to be no false pretenses among us here.
I appreciate it. I didn't know, since I didn't know much information going on. Master Zil here seems to know a lot more than the rest of us do. Can't be too careful in these days.
Can't be too careful.
But my at least as far as I can tell, our intentions, is to quell the stop of this cataclysm from happening. We fear that if we don't find the Monteblairs, it could be the end of Everlast as we know. And that
You-
includes the end of whatever you're trying to achieve here.
What I'm trying to achieve is wealth, fortunes, and notoriety. But do know this. From what you have presented to me so far, you come here seeking Aldreg Monteblair. You wish to do so by seeking an audience with Lord Edmund of the Harrogate family. And you said, up until this point, that your only way of getting a meeting with Edmund Harrogate was by turning me in. As you can see, that is not going to happen, but you said that you weren't going to turn me in. Which leaves us as an impasse. What can I do for you that I can't already do for myself? You're searching for Aldreg Monteblair. I'm searching for Aldreg Monteblair.
Yuki, may I be more direct?
Please.
Go ahead.
What do you know of Malvish?
Ooh. The evil beastie from the times even before the First Age. Oh, I know all about the tales of a Serac that fell from the grace of Landisrain. I knew of a realm, the Void. The magics that come from it.
You speak of these as if they're mythology.
Aren't they? Isn't all matters of faith beyond physical proof?
Till you very seriously, it is not.
Oh. Well, clearly you've seen something that I haven't. Not
We
that
have
I
fought
doubt
Malvish
tales.
himself.
You have not, and
Excuse
Yuki
me.
pipes in and says, you have not. So you have nothing to do with what's going on at Foggy Bay.
I
Then,
didn't say that.
do you?
It seems that you're inquiring into matters that have nothing to do with the deal at hand.
Let me be
They,
clear. Malvish is no mythology.
You said this.
We have fought him. Thankfully, it was not what it could have been, and we were able to walk away. Our true goal, we're hunting demons.
Oh.
We're hunting his lieutenants.
Hmm.
We've already faced more than one. We've defeated one.
Impressive. Now I see where that confidence comes from. He takes a drink.
is Zil getting Peter tingles? I'm curious.
Zill's not getting Peter
I don't think so.
All right.
That
I don't know.
is our true aim. I also said the pillars are no myth. We fought one of these demon spawns at the Earth Pillar. That is how we know the demons are no myth, the pillars are no myth. That is their threat. That is why we seek Aldreg Monteblair. His family is connected to those pillars. How? I'm still trying to wrap my head around. If I could tell you, I would, but it's beyond my ability to understand. This is no joke. This is no laughing matter. This is beyond wealth and power. If we fail, wealth and power will matter no longer. There'll be no wealth left. There'll be nothing to have power over. That is why we are here. That is why we have sought you. I don't know what we can promise if we succeed. But if we fail, there will be nothing left. I'm not saying this to be dramatic. I'm saying this because we have faced the power of Melvish firsthand. We have faced him in something akin to a vision. I still don't fully understand it myself. We all thought we died, and we thankfully didn't. We faced his lieutenants, we faced their helpers. I don't know if you heard of the sorcerer Eeas on Aishan Island.
Can't say that I have.
He was working for Malvish. We faced him, we defeated him. So yes, we have a confidence. It is not misplaced. We
I can see
mean you
that.
no direct harm.
But on the
But our
contrary,
mission-
your mission is to find Aldreg Montblair, and as I had already clearly mentioned to you, that's currently one of my many missions, but one of my missions, and I have been able to do so. If you wish to go speak to the Harrogates, your way of doing that is by turning me in, which, in turn, is meaning me harm.
That's why I'm here. Do you know another way to see the Harrogates?
I think that's more the question than anything. That was the way we were told. By getting the Harrogate's attention, would we be able to seek attention? And the best way to do that, they said, was to capture you. However, we do have a companion who scored a 300 in bowling.
You have a companion, and that's who I've been hearing their name. 300. Wow.
It's the first to ever do it, as far as I know.
Tell me this. Outside of... There are many ways to gain the attention of the Harrogates. Sure, maybe one way would to bring me in. He is actively seeking me. I am in hiding for a reason. Things that I trade in are... powerful. Well, to some. Well, seemingly, they're trinkets.
May I make a proposition?
Please.
You
Hopefully
like
it's
powerful
better
items?
hopefully it's better than the propositions that I've been put so far, either jail or the end of the world.
Well, my question first is, you don't have to explain how, I just need a yes or a no. If a deal was struck, could you get us into audience with the Harrogates?
I guess it depends on the nature of such a deal.
Like I said, I just need a yes or a no.
Yes.
Okay. These trinkets that you've mentioned once or twice. Things with more
Magic.
pizzazz than
Magic. That's the word you're looking for.
magic than normal thing. I was trained as a smith in the Draken Forges. I'm still learning, but I have the ability to craft metalwork, particularly weapons that might pack an extra punch past just the quality of their blade. Could we strike a deal of trading you? Provide the raw materials. I take that and return to you these weapons, and you get us to the Harrogates.
And into Hightown.
And into Hyde.
Well, if it is
That's
a high town papers that you so desire, that is an easy solution. You see, I am not a thief, or simply that. I pay for everything that I get, but I need return for those things that I do pay for, and thus, I auction them off to the highest bidder. If you are interested in papers to Hightown, fortune shines bright upon you. There's an auction this evening, 3 a.m. in Hightown. Seeing as you don't have any papers, there are ways in and out of Hightown that are known to me and me alone. If you are interested in freely moving about, the auction would be your place. As to getting you an audience with the Harrogates, that's more difficult, you see. You have to find what the Harrogates deeply, deeply desire.
Which we are aware that one of those things is your capture, but is there others?
There are plenty of ways. He respects merchants, those who are situated or in a position to bring Folden Rock to its higher glory, and with that comes power. At auction tonight, there will be such a thing that will perhaps be a site of this power, that perhaps he would pique his interest. The possession of such an object would be more than to suffice. A private audience with Edmund Harrogate himself. That is, if the people know that you have it.
Which I'm
What
assuming comes with
caliber
its
of
own
object
challenges.
are we talking?
One at a time, please.
Go ahead, Max.
What caliber of object are we talking?
Seemingly, on the outside, nothing. Something as simple as paper. Something as simple as cloth. But when you introduce the element of magic to it, has the ability to raise towns or save them.
Are we talking magic or mana?
What's the difference?
One is a tool of
Malvish
Malvish. One
or
is a
Lamia?
tool of the natural world, yes.
But isn't it just merely a matter of how you use it? They can both be
No.
used to the same ends, can they not?
Not necessarily. We have faced enough magic wielders to know the difference.
So
It has
you
a corrupting
s-
power to it.
How so?
Well, mana is a force that comes from Alomni. It's a force that runs, it's the lifeblood of Everlast as far as we've come to understand. Every object, even including you in spirit, are made from this mana. Magic is something that is, how to put it? How did he put it? And she's thinking back
Twisted?
to Godfrey. It's a mockery of it. It's a mere illusion of it. It's a mere illusion of power itself. Once one uses it, it's mocking the very force of the manic energy here in the land of Everlast. And the more times it's used, the more twisted one becomes when using it. So I would stay as clear as I could away from magic itself. Mana, on the other hand, However, this is my word of warning to you. I don't know if you're aware of this, but for your own sake, and for the sake of your own sanity and the sake of your own being, it could be quite dubious to dive into such things.
Which is why I sell them to the highest bidder. I have no intention of wielding magic or mana.
Does that not make you complicit?
In my line of work, sometimes you have to shrug off any responsibility for what the buyers do. The buyers are free to do with their merchandise as they please.
But
Do you-
Rolo,
Yes.
you don't. You don't have to shrug that off. It weighs on you.
The way I look
Many
at it,
years
it's
ago,
a mere business contract.
Please listen to me.
Hmm.
Many years ago, I came into a power that I still don't fully understand. And I just clench my fist, and the runes here and here just start glowing a little bit. Just a little bit. And I let it go and they disperse. When I first came into this power, I used it to gain more power for myself. To increase my glory, my power, thinking I was doing right by those I was in charge of. All I found was pain. All I found was failure. Not immediately. At first it was glorious. We ate like kings. We slept peacefully. But that ran out very, very quickly. Until I realized this power came with a responsibility. I know what line I just crossed by calling you Rolo. That is how seriously I take this. I am not speaking to you as a master of a cartel. I'm speaking to you as a man I see making the same mistakes I did, that broke me, that hurt those I cared about, and that lost me everything that was meaningful, that I had to rebuild from.
I hear you. I hear you, Zil. When
I
you
don't
look
know
at
if
me,
you do.
when you look at me, what do you see?
May I speak honestly?
I asked you, didn't I?
Yes, but I also know I'm in your house with your servants and your traps and your devices.
Proceed with prudence.
I mean no offense, but just to answer the question you asked. I see a man who might have a good intention, but that intention has been buried by shallowness and a concern of power and greed. And has let that blind any sense of responsibility and care of how those things are achieved. And I say that because I was you. I first saw those things in myself long before I see them in you. I first felt the fall of their failures, of their lackings, long before I see their glimmer of their promises here. I don't know when, I don't know how, but what I can promise is if what I see is true, your fall is coming. If you do not change, if you continue on this path, pain, suffering, and failure await because of your choices and no one else's. I mean no offense. I just don't want you to experience the pain I did.
He nods. He looks at the table, looks into your eyes, Zil, looks into Yuki's, and then back into yours, Zil, and he smiles, and he says, I would like to show you something. If you would, follow me.
Yuki's on her guard, and she does.
Go. Zill's axes are always close at hand.
Exactly.
This is freaking me out.
I think it's where we're going.
I know.
He leads you over to this door, to which he pulls out a key ring and he unlocks the door behind. And as the door swings open, you can see that there is what looks to be a dais that stands in the middle of this room. And as you walk around the outside of it, you see that there are 4 steps that go up to the top of it, and there are a manner of pillars. There are 7 pillars that are in a circle, and each of them have a candle on top of it, and they're all glowing blue. He continues to talk and walk with you as you walk around it to the other side. Down
Peter Tingles,
up a
Zil?
highway. No Peter Tingles.
I mean, this thing has a range of a mile.
Yeah.
So coming into another room would not set it
That's
off.
true. Oh my gosh.
But
This is
No
freaking me
Peter
out.
Tingles at the moment.
are these supposed to be words among the pillars?
It's difficult to tell since you're walking around the side. You wouldn't be able to get this top-down view to be able to see that. But you begin to walk up some stairs, and eventually he takes another key from his keyring and unlocks the door. And he says, he brings you into a room, a room completely lit with candles and shelves. And on all of these shelves seem to be a number of different items. Some of them look pretty ordinary and regular, where some of them seem to be exuding some kind of a glow, some kind of manic presence from them. From what you can tell, Zil, as you're not seeing anything void in. However, on the center dais, on the center pillar, is a jar. And inside the jar is a substance. I'm going to have the 2 of you make knowledge skill checks for me.
Is this jar any remnant of
That's a
kind of like
14.
the altar we dealt with at that island where we kind of found the bow in the story? I forget the name.
Yeah, all Tulians for the angel guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, not really.
Okay, great. 12.
It's a 14 for Yuki. Yeah.
The 2 of you, being adventurers, you recognize this substance almost immediately, and you're curious on why it's held up to the steam that it is. This is simply a jar full of ooze, specifically from a slime. And as you look into it, you see that it's still moving and twitching around the jar. This would just something that would just be like your average like beast part that you would use for any kind of crafting or anything like that. This is an ingredient that's used in a lot of potions that are used regularly for adventures, and he has you stand basically facing him as he goes around the back side of the table, and he says, one thing that I want you to know. I understand you, but I want you to understand me. I am a man who has nothing. Everything in my world was taken away from me because of the works of Aldrich Monteblair. As soon as I started to build a life for myself, that was swept out from under my feet by Edmund Harrogate. And I, much like you, I'm building a name for myself again. I only know what I can do, and I know the skills at which I am good at. Take this, for example. And he points to the jar, and he says, "What do you see?" He picks it up, he shakes it, and he hands it to you. First to Zil.
Looks like some ooze. Hands it to Yuki.
And Yuki basically just glances at it and puts it back on the pedestal and just says, "Yeah, I can confirm that."
What if I told you, out of all of these artifacts that you find here, this one is the most powerful, or at least has the most potential for power?
What do you mean?
I know. It's curious, especially from clear adventurers as yourselves. It seems that much of the stuff that you have adorned on yourselves are much rarer, much higher value than this. I view this as unlimited potential. This is me.
Oh.
Unlimited potential. That is pure potential means nothing if the potential is never activated. You just have to know how to do it. Zil, I'm going to have you make an influence skill check for me.
Come on,
Cool.
buddy. Come on, buddy.
That's a 10.
It's not terrible. It's all good.
I know, it's terrible.
No, it's not terrible. It's like
well, I
better
have
than
a
average.
+6. That's pretty bad.
It's better than average though. Still.
He
10.
says, all of us start from nothing. And even when everything is removed by one way or another, the beautiful thing about humanity is we have the ability to rebuild ourselves, reshape ourselves. Much like this slime, you can form any shape that you want. Yes, it may slump back into the nothingless mass that it is. But if you introduce a catalyst for that potential, it can be shaped to change the world. I look forward to seeing you later tonight. And he takes a piece of parchment and he writes down a few tidbits of information. Here. And he hands it over to you, Yuki. And you see written in a common tongue in Everspeech is a permission letter. I will see you in Hightown later tonight. I think we can help each other. What you are looking for, you can see right here. This is worth more because of its potential than possibly anything that auction has. I think you'll be surprised. And he smiles and he says, now, as a matter of business, where you're supposed to meet. Again, 3 a.m. Don't be late. He points over to a building over here at 39 in the Aram Exchange, I believe.
Oh no!
He points over to a building in the Aram Exchange, and in this specific area, he says, there's an auction hall. If you wish to access it, the best way to do so as he points on a map and he marks it down for you, is in the farming district. There's a bridge there. Between the times, very specifically, of 2:48 and 2:50 a.m., there's the changing of the guard. There's a gate that protects it. But there are no walls. And there is a very, very climbable cliff. If you want the answers to your questions, if you want to attract the attention of the Harrow Gates, I would be there if I were you.
Sounds good. We will make sure to meet there. And she looks at the paper, in what it is. Will this allow her to get in and out of High Town or just into the auction hall?
Just into
Is
the
it clear?
auction hall.
Okay, so that this is.
And it has
really
a
the only-
signature of Rollo Beaumont, and it actually has a wax seal as well on it.
Okay. Zil, well, it seems like we got what we came here for. And she turns to Rollo
Believe
Beaumont
so.
and gives him a bow and says, "We apologize for intruding on your evening. Hopefully it was an interesting conversation at the very least. And hopefully we can have a better relationship in the future."
I would be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued. But I am curious to see how you and your companions are going to save the world. It's a world that I very much like to live in. I hope to keep it that way.
And she turns and says one more thing before she heads out, and she says, "If you are dealing with the ongoings at Foggy Bay, try not to get ahead of yourself. That's very dangerous stuff you're prodding." And she walks away with Zil.
Well, Zil has his last words too. So before she walks away, thank you for your hospitality, for your availability. No disrespect was meant at any point. I hope no disrespect was taken.
No, not at all. I've had
I hope
far
we
worse
can-
business dealings.
Oh, good. I relate a little too well. I do hope we can help each other.
I do too. My line of work, you learn one thing. Where there's high risk, there is high reward. Fate has brought you here to me, has brought you here today. And, if I'm not mistaken, all of the pieces are aligning. And the risks are incredibly high. As he walks you back through this room and into the dining room and back into the front hall area. And back into the front hall area here. He bids you farewell, and he nods and he says, "Looks like we're going to be needing to change that password sometime soon." And he opens the door for you, and he says, "Until we meet again, hopefully that's at the auction. But as for now, I'm a very busy man, and I have a lot of business to do."
Understood. We'll see you this morning.
I look forward to it. And with that, the two of you depart up the stairs. There is a small bell, and the man by the name of Alaric, he follows you into the hallway, and at the bottom of the short staircase, there's a small bell. He dings it, and immediately the trapdoor opens, and you're able to make your way out into the main hall of Soot and Ash. And with that, that is where we're going to end our session for tonight.
Oh,
Oh my
so much.
goodness.
Oh my gosh. I thought he was going to go to fisticuffs a couple times. there.
Honestly, yeah, that was
He was
stressful.
sketching the heck out of me. Holy smokes.
Zill was not stressed, but Max was very
Oh,
stressed.
I was so impressed. I was so impressed with Zill there. I have never seen that.
It's weird, like
Holy smokes.
I'm not ever
Mob
sure how to
boss
play it, like,
Zill coming to the forefront.
it's like he never
Yeah.
was actually a mob boss, but he does understand them.
Yeah.
Like he has attempted that life, it just bit him in the butt too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like there's a little more revelation. We don't know. If you wanted to say more before I jump into this, we can. Sorry, I jumped the gun.
No, it's okay. Feel free. Talk about your thoughts on the session. This is exactly where we're going.
Yeah, but it's like again, there's just probably a little more revealing to you. I feel like we've gotten a lot of Zill's backstory revealed to the party members. Except this is something I've kind of been tinkering with. Not a lot is formalized yet, but it's definitely been tinkering in my mind for a while, especially when we really kind of settled the new class. That's actually where a lot of this came out of how did he get that class power? How did that affect his time in Helix? And yeah, like it's been mentioned in the past, definitely in this session, but I think I mentioned it last session too, of Zill took that power and tried to become a mob boss with it. That was his first reaction, because that was his world. And I haven't worked out the details of how it bit him in the butt, but it did. Like, it backfired hard. And that's what he's coming to Beaumont with, of like, I made those mistakes. I made the same mistakes you did, and it bit me a lot quicker than it bit you, but like, I promise it's coming. And like, that's why he had the boldness to like call him Rolo. You know, everyone's like, call him boss, call him boss, call him boss. We heard that how many times? For the most part, we kept to that, but it's like, no, Zill just saw so much of himself. He's like, Rolo, don't make the mistakes I did. Don't lose it all because you're too focused. Like that's where this whole conversation was coming from, and he really wants to keep his promise of like Zill has no intention of turning Beaumont in. He's not. He wants to find a different way, but he also wants to turn Beaumont around and actually do what we did for Duluth, make him like an upstanding citizen, whatever that means. And it's funny, Zill was so pissed when he didn't react. When he said it's like, I am nothing, Zill just kind of like, in my mind, he's like looking around, he's like, bullshit, you don't have to sleep on the floor, what are you talking about? You are not nothing. Like, I know nothing, I've lived nothing, you liar. So I'm glad Zill kept it together, but that was going through his head very aggressively.
Yeah, and that,
I mean,
honestly, that's part of the reason too why I like to talk about your thoughts at the end of the sessions, because of course like these things like that you're like keeping in, like I'm curious to hear on how you're reacting to just the people you're interacting with, like within the scheme of this game. It helps me especially in the future, because I feel like I can like gauge pretty well, but like I had no idea, Max, that like you were pissed about that. I was just like, in Rolo's mind, he literally has had his entire life uprooted from him twice, and in his mind, he did have nothing. Yeah. He is nothing until he rebuilt this life for himself.
Which does make sense, but it's like Zill, who literally slept in ruins on the ground with
literally has a rat as his friend, or mouse.
Something that wasn't a blanket used for a blanket, and like a rock for a pillow. Like, that is most of Zill's life. So he's like, I have nothing, and we're in this mansion. Yeah, it's an underground one, but Zill's not having it. He's not having it. So
it's horrifying.
I know, Dane. You're so concerned with this map. You're like, what is going
yes.
on?
You opened it. I'm like, are we gonna be? Is this boss battle time? Are we in the?
There was a small concern, like. I mean, Zill's always ready. His axes are always ready, but he had no intention to fight.
No. Yuki didn't
There
either,
wasn't-
unless she had
Only
to,
if you start to hear dun 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 dun.
We can't hear the music.
Yeah, we can't hear that.
The audience knows the boss battle is coming before
yeah.
we do.
Dude.
Yeah, we need someone in the chat going, wait, what? Is that the battle music that I hear? And you guys were like, what?
Just in the heat of the
So,
moment.
No, it was. Yeah, the first half, I mean, I wasn't that involved. Not a lot of thoughts there, but the second half with Beaumont was crazy. It was intense.
I'm glad we were able to get through this today too. Like you guys were pretty snappy as far as like the pace that you're going through this, and I feel like some of the sessions have been a little slow, which is good because that's time that you've spent getting to kind of know the town and kind of sow your roots a little bit. But now that you have, it's just kind of like, okay, now I know where to look for this. Now I know places to go to get information and like the right questions, the right ways to be able to get that information, and the fact that like now that kind of everything's coming together, that it like opened up kind of like this next door to the dungeon. You now have I feel like, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a little bit of a clearer path about like what's going on now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
am so freaking concerned for Mila. Oh my gosh, she is getting prostituted, for Pete's sake.
Zilla's
You know-
totally unconcerned. He's like, Mila's
Yuki-
fine.
Nope. Yuki is gonna be the first thing you bet your bottom when they meet back up with Luxalia to go do their dealings. Is gonna be like, Luxalia, we don't need you here. Go save Mila. Go to this place. This is the shenanigans that's going down. Go do your thing. Go do your
Luxalia's
thing
like,
to the S-
Luxalia and her virtue's gonna be like, how dare you? And she's literally gonna like fly over the wall to go to the Regal Peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll find every way possible to be able to get there.
Yeah.
Zilla's fully convinced that Mila is totally capable of handling herself.
She was holding the axe so confidently.
Well, she's like, I don't really need this because I've got magic powers.
I know, but she's
This is like-
she's drugged.
Okay.
Well, who knows if it's actually Mila, to be fair. I'm also
Yeah,
questioning that as well, considering the fact that the one market lady said that, oh yeah, there's lots of Fesh and Fey elves that stop by here. So I'm also like partially wondering if it actually is Mila, but it doesn't hurt to check just in case. So,
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
I will say too, that
Keep
I mean the
talking, I'm
first part of
listening.
it, yeah, the first part of it with exploring the ship, blowing it up. I'm glad we did because that crazy lady now has no way off the island, and so hopefully we can track her down and do whatever. And at the very least, we saved the 2 sacrificed souls that were going to be sacrificed to the ship or whatever was going on. There's no place to go sacrifice them to. The other thing is Cole's rolls were really nice. I thought it was very comical at the very first part of the session. I think it was nice and lighthearted for the more serious ending that we had for sure. But then the other thing, I think that I don't really know what to think about Rolo Beaumont anymore. I mean, obviously seeing this, and I know that's like metagaming or whatever, but seeing this magic circle thing, it's like there's nothing good going on here, first and foremost. Second of all, he is a man who seems to be incredibly consumed by greed, and this is above game. Yuki doesn't know any of this, but a man who's incredibly consumed by greed, meaning I know that at least the cult of Burble has gotten its tendrils into it. That's why like Yuki keeps bringing up that, because she's more concerned with like there's like super dubious things going on here with like the mention of souls going on and that creepy as heck ship that they were on with the banshee screams and whatnot. And like if only Rolo knew what he was dealing with there, if he is dealing with them, he's going down a bad path, and especially with someone who already is kind of like greed is one of those things that drives him a little bit. He will fall into that demonic greed pit of the cult of Burble. And again, we're going back to here. I'm gonna move this really quick if that's okay. We're going back to this place. This is the place that freaking Belbin and Thornton escaped from, and we have to go into here for the auctions.
Well, so
That's
this
horrible.
is an entire like block, like multiple city blocks.
Oh
and
my
so
gosh,
where
I didn't
we're-
understand.
Yeah, so where Belbin, so this is like the big banking district, and so where like
Okay.
the main bank of Fulden Rock is, and so around there is like a lot of like large like manors, auction halls, things like that, that belong to the
Of course,
people.
that's where the
residents
Lothy
there.
cult's hanging out. Is there? Of course it is. With all the freaking really rich people.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but at least this guy or whatever that Belbin and Thordan came running out of. But I don't know. I just have a lot of thoughts going forward. At the beginning of the session, I was really thinking that like Rolo Boma is just a misunderstood guy, and once we got to know him, we would
I know,
understand
right?
that like he's fine. I really do personally feel like he is a bad guy right now, but still a redeemable bad guy. Again, he's
Yeah.
human and he hasn't completely fallen into it. That's what I was saying. I'm like, that baffled me when Zill came out with all of that too, because at the very least, hopefully it gives him a little bit to think about. Maybe it won't, just because he's a very prideful man, it seems to be.
Yeah.
But maybe in the long run, after all the shenanigans go down that I'm sure are gonna ensue, hopefully if he's not dead by the end of it, he hopefully can reflect upon that and make a better life for himself. But I thought that was very
Yeah.
powerful. I thought that was really good. We got some Zill
Um.
backstory, but we also got some like hopeful, you know, hopeful change in like a guy who's just been doing dubious things his entire life, which he has.
Mhm.
So, but that's how Belbin was too. And
It was
redeemed or
interesting
redeeming.
because it's like, okay, I'm still super sketched out by Beaumont, especially more so after than before this session.
Oh yeah, me too.
Zill is not impressed by his answers, not thrilled, definitely more concerned than he came in, but still like very much wants to honor his promise, wants to honor and like thinks he can turn it around. But like especially the manic magic, what's the different conversation?
Woo.
Zill has learned enough that he's like, oh no.
Yeah, don't you dare go dabble.
So
in
like
that.
there's definitely like a concern, but I don't think there's as much of a concern as Yuki has. Like he still thinks like on some level like Beaumont can and should turn it around, even though there's so little evidence that he will.
These are the questions in need of answers.
And that's what makes this, I think, well, I was just going to say one more thing and then I'll be done. But I think that's what makes this campaign so just awesome is it's dealing with real issues and real people on what they are. Like there's people from all kinds of walks of life that you have to treat with different kinds of tact. You can't just use the same forward mode of influence the entire time with everyone because it's not going to reach everyone, right? And that still doesn't mean that that person's not redeemable, but I just feel like the characters in this campaign are incredibly real. Are characters who very much, I think we to some certain small extent encounter in our everyday lives and in our normal conversations and everything we do in our normal day lives. We encounter some degree of what we're dealing with in this campaign, and I think it's great because it allows us to be the heroes of this campaign, but also explore different avenues and different paths to bring them back to the light. So I think that's great, and then that's awesome. So.
It's definitely a little bit of the naivete of Zill showing up. Of like, oh, of course, if I just say it convincing, like, no, sorry, that's not what I wanted to say. I remember I had like two thoughts going on at once.
Mm-hmm.
But the naivete of Zill of like, if we just say, oh, we're on a mission to save the world, of course everyone's gonna like bend over to help us.
Yeah, I was so.
That's
I'm not gonna lie. That's the part of me. I'm just like, you just told him our whole mission. That is not good. This guy is dubious.
It was like Zill is so naive. He's like, of course everyone wants the world to still exist, so of course they're gonna help us.
We'll see how it works out. I'm still nervous about that. Not gonna lie.
That's fair.
Yuki was biting her tongue because she was so nervous that if she said anything, he was just gonna be like, "All right, well, get out of here," or lock the doors.
It's like Zill's learning a little bit because he looked at Yuki. He's like, "Can I?"
Let's lock the doors and take them to the cult of Burbledale, and they'll be the next guests at the feast.
Yeah, seriously, right?
Bring it on.
But yeah, so It's good. This was a really good session. I really enjoyed this session. It was a very important session, I find, too. So
I'm excited to see, like, now that we got, like, the events that happened between what you guys are dealing with and also what, like, Thordane and Belbin are currently dealing with, like, at the same time. It's really interesting to, like, overlap them and see how, like, where timelines cross, and whatnot. And because around the time that, it was, like, 1:32 a.m.-ish, where Thordane and Belbin were able to escape. So, like
Yeah, I'm
early
intrigued
morning.
of how Zill's gonna react when like his tingle starts going off.
Yep. It'll be
oh,
something.
boy.
And so, yeah, with that being the case, I'm curious, like, once Cole takes a listen, once, there's, like, a bunch of moving parts that are happening at the same time, and it'll be fun to see how you all deal with it. Yeah, and who knows, maybe there's combat in the future, maybe there's not.
I am so
You guys are starved for combat,
missing of combat.
City
We'll get there.
adventures are a little bit tough.
Well, and to be fair, like, keeping out of combat in this situation is the smart thing to do.
oh
We
yeah,
probably
no.
could have started combat so many times at this point if we really were. And I'm sure there's a lot of adventurers who will play this game later on who probably will do that. So
Yeah,
we'll see
instead
where
of
that
just
gets them,
burning
but-
down ships in the bay, they'll be burning down the Adventurers Guild. They'll be burning down Soot and Ash until it becomes Soot and Ash.
There you go.
But yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
good.
good. It was good. Dane, do you have any last minute thoughts before we do? Good.
Yeah, just a couple things. As I mentioned before, I blew it out, but we have our Candles of the Realm, Fragrances of the Realm. There are Everlast themed candles, but they're perfect for any sort of tabletop RPG. Ambiance, you got all kinds of different scents in there to match any sort of tabletop RPG ambiance, or they just smell really good, so you can put them in your house. My personal favorites, the new fall scent, Shiloh Harvest, is amazing. It's super good. Highly recommend it. But also library coffee. If you love coffee smelling candles, this is probably one of the best ones I've ever smelled in my life. It's so good, and it's very fragrant. And actually, like the what is it called? The release of the scent is very good too. It's not overbearing, but it fills a big space as well. So it's great. They're all awesome, and we have a bunch of other kinds of scents, which are pretty cool. We have Coffee of the Realm, which is our Everlast themed coffee. So it is they're all based from light roast to dark roast, medium roast, a decaf roast, and all of them are based off of places in Everlast. And they have exclusive Everlast art. So the reason we push these is because we're actually coming out with this game, Everlast. I know, go figure. It's coming out as an actual game out there. And so if you guys want to be able to support the creation specifically of the art of Everlast before we start our Kickstarter, we want to try to get that done before the Kickstarter actually happens. That way we can just spend it like actually getting the game made for you guys as opposed to like small tiny elements of it, and we can get the game out to you a lot quicker. So if you want to be able to support financially with that, Fragrances of the Realm and Coffee of the Realm are awesome ways to be able to do that. And you get some amazing smelling candles and a delicious tasting coffee in the meantime, and you get some of the exclusive artwork of Everlast ahead of time, which is awesome.
Art
We have
does
our
take
amazing
time.
sponsor.
So it's one of those things where it's like, even if like we had all of the funds like from the Kickstarter, if we took the funds from the Kickstarter and was like, okay, let's start the creation of this, the game is pretty much ready. But as far as the art is concerned, a game would be pretty much ready with the art being made, and that does take time. And we want the art to remain consistent throughout the entire book, so we want to utilize the same artist and all of that. And then it'll get to a point where once we've compiled everything, which who knows how long that would take. I mean, we've been doing this endeavor for quite a while, and we've been getting art in little by little as it's been going, and helping support financially does help kind of take some of that burden off of that. So thanks to you and your generosity with candles and coffee, it's actually been quite helpful in helping us to get that. So
Yeah, I mean, we got our upgraded new characters, as you can see on the screen right now, that look really good. And I mean, all of us here at Everlast have seen a lot of the art behind the scenes that you guys haven't seen yet, and it's gorgeous and it's amazing, and we are so excited for it to like continue to be put out. And can continue to like make it like an actual visual, like not only like an amazing storytelling world, but a visually appealing world too for you guys. So
We're very excited about that. If you want to support Fantasy Forge Studios, our channel, of course, feel free to give us a follow. Every follow helps getting the word of Everlast out there, but also we try to get you to guys get a 10 out of 10 on your day. We really do try to do that. And if you're ever feeling bad, if you're ever feeling like I need to pick me up, Fantasy Forge Studios is that place to go to. We are a little bit lacking on streams lately, however, hopefully come fall time, we're picking more up. We have a couple new series coming in the future, including a potential return of Coalforge Great Axe. The M is silent. Not potential. It's probably going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. And then we have another series.
Are continuing.
Yes, exactly. We have another series with Kyle and myself, where we're going to be doing some Final Fantasy 14, which we've been actually wanting to do for quite some time. But we just haven't gotten around to do it. We love that game, and it's been a while. It's good brotherly time together, but it's also going to be like kind of like Coalforge Great Max, where yes, we're going to be playing games, but a lot of the focus is going to be on like talking, and a lot of the focus is going to be with interacting with the chat, and it's just going to be altogether good time for everyone. But yeah, we have a lot of things coming up, so don't be discouraged, even though it's been slow lately. We will be kicking up some new series, and hopefully I can get back to streaming in the near future as well. Aside from that, we have an amazing sponsor, Dai Snacky. They're a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company based in Tokyo, Japan. They're a small family business as well. And so by supporting them, not only are you supporting a small family business, but if you mention Forge sent you, or like I'm from Fantasy Forge, mention anything about Fantasy Forge or anything like that, and that referral goes a long way. That's how we get paid from that, I guess, partnership right there. And make sure to also mention your Twitch username too, because we do give away, or we do have raffle tickets, because once we get a referral limit of people who say Forge sent me, then we will be giving away another free one of their boxes on the channel. We've already given one away, and it went to amazing follower, and so hopefully we can give another one away here soon. So especially if you like Japanese sweets, or if you've been very curious to try with them, like you're a big fan of Japan, you can't afford to go there, they offer free international shipping, and they're just really kind and very accommodating as well. So especially if there's things that you like a lot, like there's been snacks you could be wanting to try, they're more than willing to hear your inquiries, and if they can find them, they usually do a pretty good job of getting to you. Again, lots of things are very seasonal in Japan, so no promises, but
yeah,
they're
if you're
awesome
asking
people.
for the full time for I don't know, if you're asking for like Christmas snacks in like the fall, probably not gonna happen.
You're not gonna get them. You're not gonna get them. But I mean, ultimately, like they're always willing to listen and willing to ask. Or if you just have no idea what it's going, or what comes in the boxes, they do a very good job of picking a lot of variety as well, and like different kinds of snacks, from sweet to savory to gummy to hard, it's like all kinds of stuff. And so there's lots of stuff. There's a bunch of different levels you can do. If you want the fancier stuff, their looks box is the way to go, and it is definitely worth the money. Gosh, highly recommend it. But yeah, so Dai Snacky, feel free to check them out, and don't forget to mention us when you do that. And the schedule for the week ahead. So Kyle's gonna be continuing his playthrough of Dragon's Dogma on Saturday night. Again, the schedule will be available in our Discord, so join our Discord. That's what I meant, Sunday night. So feel free to join our Discord. I do post the schedules usually Saturdays or Sundays for those, and the time that you see is the time that your computer is set to. So if your computer is set to your current time, the time that you'll see for our stream schedule should be up to date for whatever time that you will be there for. But yeah, Kyle will be streaming on Sunday night, Monday night his time, since he lives in Japan, or Monday morning I should say. We don't have Area Door Adventures. However, we have our very last session of Wilderland Adventures, Adventures Middle Earth, on Wednesday morning. So if you haven't caught one of those, all of them are uploaded onto YouTube at this point. So go check those out all the way through, what is it, session 45, I believe.
So the last episode is going to be
56.
episode 55.
55. And I mean, 55 episodes, that's crazy. That's so many different episodes, but that was an amazing journey in our Fantasy Forge history there. Our very first Wilderland Adventures that we started over a year ago. And it's unfortunately coming to a sad conclusion. However, we'll still be continuing Area Door Adventures, which will be happening again every other week, every first and third Saturday of Tuesday evening of the month. So we still have that going on, and then of course we have Everlast. Nothing next week, but again, the schedule for this next week, as far as I know, Sunday night Kyle's playing Dragons Dogma 2. Wednesday morning Kyle will be playing, I'm sorry, Tuesday night, Kyle will be playing Dragon's Dogma 2. Wednesday morning, we'll be having our very last session of Wilderland Adventures. We'll also have exclusive merch that will only be available for a limited time. Those of you who want a nice memento from Wilderland Adventures, you can feel free to pick that up there, including some maybe character there's specific characters that have been part of Wilderland Adventure that there hasn't been any merch of, that we may have some very very limited release of that. So if you're looking forward to that, consider checking out our merch store. And then Wednesday afternoon or Thursday afternoon, I haven't talked to Cole yet, he'll be continuing Paper Mario, and then nothing for Friday and nothing for Saturday. So as far as I know, that's all. So sorry, long-winded, but there's a lot to go over.
That sounds freaking sweet. It'll be awesome. I look forward to seeing you guys all doing that. And yeah, just one thing to mention, I'm so excited about the Final Fantasy 14 collab. I've been wanting to play that for some time. I actually got some time a little bit 2 days ago to be able to sit down and play it, and it's a fun game. It's a good time.
Nostalgic.
Very nostalgic. And so we'll be playing through I believe it's Dawn Trail. Slowly we'll make our way through the stories through Dawn Trail, which is the newest expansion, but also
One before it.
Yeah,
Endwalker. There we go. Endwalker.
And so
haven't played it.
Yeah, we haven't played it, and so it'll be sweet. I'm very much looking forward to it. And yeah, anything else, bro?
No.
Do we have a raid?
Anything, Max? We do not have a raid today. We'll be ending, and actually, you know what? Let's send our way to Sammy Chills. He's super chill. He's a good friend of the channel. It's not Dungeons & Dragons since he's playing Rocket League, but he's one of the goofiest and funniest people I've ever met in my life. He's good friends with our one of our mods, Kamikaze Giggles, and they're just like two peas in a pod. So if you like her stuff, then you'll definitely like his stuff. So.
Share the Fantasy Forge love. May God bless you all. May Alomnia guide you. I'm praying for you. Pray for me. Pray for each other. And I will catch you all on the flippity flip. I will see you guys on Monday morning at JST. And until then, have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.